I'm live, but I'm waiting on lane, by the way. I'm live, but I'm waiting on lane. Hawk's on for Arians if you want to play with him.
Hello.
Hello.
How's it going?
Oh, you...
Yeah. I'm here.
I didn't realize you were here. I kicked heel for nothing.
Yep.
And for what?
And for what?
I saw that there were 3 people in here and immediately panicked. And didn't they do?
Things go sometimes. I'm ready for some playoff League of Legends action. There hasn't been much to be excited about at Worlds for North American fans, but at least we get to watch some RotM playoff action tonight, so excited for that.
Yeah, I guarantee an NA team will win more games tonight than we did the whole first week of work groups.
And hopefully take more tier 2 turrets, so. outside of being sad for NA, did you do anything fun with your weekend?
Not really.
No?
Oh, we're live. I don't need to stall with that yet.
We'll save
Welcome,
that for the inevitable pause in this 5K best of 5.
welcome, ladies and gentlemen, and others, to the Helium League Metashift playoffs. I could have done that a lot better. My God,
We're warming up.
we're warming up, and then it just gets worse from there. So it's a best of 5 for the quarterfinals between Return to the Middle Stick Surprise Party and Classic Esports. My name's Lane. My co-cast. My name is.
Oh.
My name is Liposuction Lane, and I'm giving him the big suck.
And my name's Maris.
Jesus Christ. I need to go back to bed.
Yeah, clearly. Oh boy. Well, it should be a fun night if we're starting off this way. That's all I'm saying.
We banned Silas, we banned a tree, we banned Vigar, we banned Caitlyn, Akali, and Olaf, and it's a first pick misfortune. How do you feel, Lane?
Feeling pretty good. Like I said, very excited to be watching some RTM playoffs with you tonight. And yeah, the Tarek Seraphine already locked in as a counter to the MF, which I actually, well, I shouldn't say counter, but I really like the pickup here because MF is a champ that scales, doesn't have a lot of early pressure, of course is very good, but it's not going to be super punishing for this Seraphine Tarek lane. So I'm going to assume that's going to be bought with a ADC Seraphine and Tarek support.
I wouldn't, but you can do whatever you want.
Okay, we'll see. Regardless, the Seraphine's a very nice flex pick to pick up here early in the draft for RTM. J4.
Yeah, I really like the Jarvan just to...
Yep.
Because Tarek and Seraphine notably cannot leave a jacuzzi once they are in it. They're required to soak up a couple of the jets at least.
Yeah, and definitely helps with the MF pick, having lockdown and engage to be able to channel, get 3, 4, 5 waves of your ultimate off. Going to be very powerful. So liking that pickup already, and Blitzcrank, very decent. Especially if they're expecting that Seraphine to go bot. Now the scary thing is that, well, not scary, but challenging thing is that that Seraphine may end up going mid now that we see the Blitzcrank presumably going bot, but I have seen some inklings of Blitzcrank tops.
I've seen jungle, I've seen top after this patch. So... They gave him quite a change up, and we got problem. All right. RTM just oops all supports.
Yep. Really interesting. The three drafts here. Lots of flexes going on for RTM, and I know Scrims has been putting some time into the Tarek jungle, so we will see if it goes there.
Yeah. You kind of need some damage with your last 2 picks, but overall, interesting pickup so far. Ornn taken away. That would just be more CC with the CC. That seems reasonable. Swanye. Who do you pair with? Like, what do you run with Tarek, Seraphine, Braum?
Well, you definitely need a lot of DPS, which I'm feeling like I think would be helpful if the Seraphine ends up going mid, actually, and you're picking a more conventional, like high DPS threat ADC, and then throwing something with a lot more DPS in top lane. Aatrox I could see being okay. Trying to think who else you'd want. Maybe like Aurelia, just like bruisers would do pretty well with the empowerment of all of the healing shielding here, and pair well with the Braum pickup as well.
Yeah, I kind of want to see a marksman, honestly, from Wing.
Yes.
I'm of the opinion that this is probably Seraphine Braum bottom with Tarek jungle. Just from the players, I don't know about taking your high-ranked player in this format and putting him on Seraphine. That seems like you're missing out on a lot of potential, but could happen. That works. That's a gangplank, if that's locked in. Yeah. All right. That kind of checks most of the boxes that we were looking at.
Yeah, definitely not too bad. not really the typical in-your-face bruiser that you'd be expecting to be getting powered up by this Taric Seraphine, but is going to scale well with the comp. And so if Classic isn't able to do some stuff in this early game with the picks like the Blitzcrank and the Jarvan, could be in trouble with all of the scaling that RTM has already come out with.
Yone? All right. The -3 second Yone lock-in. And then
be interesting to see where that goes. We'll know hopefully shortly here with this pick coming through.
You feel like you need some magic damage to round this out? I don't know how much magic damage Blitzcrank does now. Probably a lot, but you still probably need a little bit more. That's a lot of magic damage. Cool.
Yep. And Syndra also getting changes recently. Notably, the E stun is just a lot wider as you start ranking up and getting more orbs. Can be pretty decent. I will say it might have some difficulty getting through all the healing and shielding of the Seraphine Taric if it doesn't get some kills early, but I think definitely in the early game to mid game could be pretty powerful with the CC plus ult combo. Oof.
Gragas.
Yeah, maybe not what I was expecting for RTM. I think they're lacking a little bit on the damage side of things here. With that, I'm expecting that Seraphine, Gragas, and Gangplank will need to go high damage here, but definitely very interesting for RTM.
I mean, there's not like tanks to chunk through. Right?
True.
If you get Gangplank fed enough, it doesn't really matter. He one-shots everyone but Jarvan.
Yeah, and depending on how Jarvan builds can include that in there too. But yeah, we'll have to see how this plays out. I don't think it's dreadful, but you know, I'd like to see. Usually, you like to see with enchanters something with a little bit more constant DPS, but definitely more burst for RTM.
Yeah, definitely some interesting drafts to start out with. They're both interesting in the fact that you win game one with these, and like, they're very unique drafts, right? You can't just pivot. You know, if they take away one champion, it's hard to pivot certain things into them. So yeah, I don't know that it like sets up super well for the best of 5 series, but like the mental advantage that you get probably out of this draft, like if you lose to either side, but more specifically like RotM side, do you ban Taric? Do you ban Seraphine? Like what are you dropping for all of that? For CE, I mean, kind of the same thing. You're probably looking at this Blitzcrank. It has to have a really good game, or else it's kind of hard to see where your initiation angle is.
It's definitely such an interesting draft from RTM that regardless of the outcome of this game, I think if Classic wins, they're thinking, okay, we don't really need to worry about that stuff, that the Taric Seraphine, but if RTM wins, they definitely need to consider throwing a ban in that direction, depending on how these things go into the late game scaling.
Yeah, and again, as we've repeated, it is a best of 5, so we're in it for a while now. So it's hard on the players, it's hard on the casters. You can't get too excited as it goes along because you've got to grind through 3 games in order to make it out, and we could be here all fucking night. So
yeah, so we'll pray for no pauses, get the best amount of game time to viewership possible. And I do want to commend Classic Esports here. Did really a good job with their second phase of bans, banning away the Cassiopeia and the Swain, which are more constant DPS threats that I think would have paired really well. And so I think those are really smart bans, seeing the first 3 picks of RTM.
Yeah, definitely agree there. Even I mean, it's 4 bans at Winged, but it's hard to argue against 4 bans at Winged.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's what you get going to second phase, and Yeah, I mean, at least you have some flex in the Seraphine, but like you mentioned, probably not the ideal pick for Wings talents for this team.
Well, we've got 3 minutes to go. Thank you guys for joining us. The other quarterfinal is on the main Metashift stream between OME Blizzard and another team. I read the announcement.
I found it was pretty hard to track. I feel like
they just
I was trying to look up some tournament info.
Oh, Cossacks and Friends versus OME Blizzard. Okay, we got it. So if you want to pull that up in a multi, you want to go check them out, go ahead and do that, but it should probably show for the mainstream. But yeah, we'll be here all evening with RotM's surprise party and classic esports, and yeah, quite a game number one. I haven't seen too many games on this patch, so the Cinder and the Blitzcrank changes presumably very strong on this patch for classic, and Cinder, I guess, just gets so many splinters in her hands that she becomes really powerful is the lore. I'm not really sure.
Yeah, it feels a little bit like Victor scaling, kind of after they changed him with like him getting like takedowns and that sort of stuff, like empower his abilities. Feels very similar to that. I have admittedly have not seen very much Blitzcrank at all since these changes came through, but I am familiar with the Syndra ones, so this will be a fun experience to see the Blitzcrank in action here. A little bit of the rework.
Yeah,
I think it's picked in a good spot too into the Seraphine.
I know that it's like nuts and jungle for whatever reason. I haven't looked like super hard at the changes. I guess he does more lightning and on-hit bullshit, but
yeah,
just bizarre. I don't know. I don't know that character needed more stuff.
I really am tempted to try running Blitzcrank out of the jungle now with like, cause you think about what runes you're gonna take on that, and it feels like a Predator Blitzcrank coming out of the jungle feels pretty good, especially since it was already a pretty good rune on him earlier in this season.
So Blitzcrank jungle was a thing in season 2 when I started playing, and like the most OP thing you could do in draft is pick Blitzcrank jungle with Morgana support, because if you hit one of those things, you land the other one, and it's like 900 seconds of CC. Maybe we'll see something like that. I don't really know. Revert back to reject Yumi. Revert back to season 2.
And the other really nice thing about the Blitzcrank here is that with the ult, you're going to be able to actually drop some of the shields if timed well from the Taric and the Seraphine. So I think for RTM, you really want to try to get this Gangplank going. It is your biggest DPS threat by far. And so if the Gangplank gets shut down, this game will have to go pretty late for RTM to be able to make up its disadvantage.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm trying to hand my wife a phone charger while talking. It's not going very well. Oh,
this is a Taric skin I have not seen. Lumen Shield.
Lumen Shield. His D&D skin. Well, we are in the game for game number 1.
The scoreboard is broken. Okay, I fixed it.
It was broken?
For me, only the time controls were showing with no scoreboard underneath them. It was very odd. But it was like the time controls were in the middle of the screen, if the scoreboard was there.
I just had a hanging scroll bar on my chat, which disappeared. Perfect. So I don't know.
Every patch that comes out, I just feel like Spectate's gonna break. It's been very fragile this year, I feel like.
Yeah, 5-man invade for classic esports on the bottom side. They have Blitzcrank, so they can do this. And it looks like RTM is relatively aware of the path. They were playing defensively in mid and around the red buff, so you have to assume that they're invading through blue. And Wing might be in a little bit of trouble here. Okay, he's going to spot everyone. The flash forward from Ish does land the pull, but honestly not particularly worth it. He can go back to base. He'll be a little bit late to lane if he does finish that channel, though.
Yeah, I honestly don't know if that was bait by Winged there, but nice of him to know to not burn the flash. Just be able to walk away, especially given that positioning. And, you're not going to feel it too badly on the Blitzcrank not having this flash, just because you have the Hex Flash to be able to use, and Tarek's going to be pathing up here, but we'll have to see if RTM's able to punish that at all with a Tarek gank, but not expecting it given the champions for RTM that are in the bot lane. So
yeah, I think it's interesting. So Ish has Glacial Augment, which traditionally you didn't go on Blitzcrank. I don't know if it's changed now, but when you would hook, it would land the augment like out where you hook people rather than at your feet. So it wasn't ever super useful.
Yeah, I think it's pretty 1-to-1 from what I understand with Aftershock now.
Aftershock. I would have guessed Guardian.
Or Guardian,
blind,
I meant,
but
sorry.
Yeah, you can see like the Glacial doesn't do a whole lot there. It just leaves it at the feet of Magic Claps. They get a good trade out of it. Don't get me wrong, but
yeah,
the Glacial didn't help that. It was all just the hook.
Yeah, I think this MF is going to have a little bit of a struggle trying to kill Seraphine even with hooks. MF is really not notable for her damage early. You're really waiting for that level 6.
A little stun. Wing still has flash, but gets knocked up. He needs to use it.
Okay. Use it. Yeah, I was gonna say getting greedy with that, but ends up making it out of there. A little bit of concern for the cast here, but does get it off.
He apparently knew better than we did about that. Atlas redeeming the physical logo button. Can you message Marionette and she'll get that set up for you, or if you can't find her for some reason, just message me and I'll get you set up. But, that's 20,000 points, channel points.
That's nice.
A couple, yeah.
Yeah, that's quite a bit of watching for sure. But yeah, interesting enough, Winged does have to use his TP here, and elects to go for the tier. I don't know if I've seen this on Gangplank, the Manamune, but
I don't know that you do. You go full Manamune? That doesn't feel right.
Yeah, it doesn't feel right.
I could see just wanting
to go the crit, but
I could see just wanting the mana early on. You just sit on the tier because like 400 gold doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things, especially because you're not powering up early anyway.
Yeah.
I don't know. Hook gonna land on the Death Lotus. A lot of damage coming down onto the Braum, but then it gets traded back immediately just by the E from Magic Class.
It feels very wet noodly down here right now in these early levels. It's the CC's landing, but it's not meeting a whole lot. But I will say the Blitzcrank is landing hooks, which is a good sign of things to come for sure. Can be very helpful, especially if we see this Blitzcrank start roaming to other lanes.
This feels like a rougher Gangplank matchup as well. I always feel better playing him into melee characters because you can just sit there on your top of your barrel or put the barrel out in the minion wave, and then they can't walk up if you get ahead. But harder to navigate that as a melee into ranged.
Yeah, and you're seeing that already in a little bit of a CS discrepancy opening up in this mid lane. I think RPZ Wolf has done a really good job on the Jarvan to punish the Gangplank early, get that early TP and flash out. And Banakali has opened up a nice CS lead. Of course, going to catch this wave to make that a little larger. So
yeah, and we'll have to keep half an eye, both mid laners with first strikes. So have to see how much gold they're able to accrue, how much that helps their trading.
Yeah, so far not a very action-packed first couple levels here. We've seen that Jarvan gank, but have not seen a return to the mid lane so far with the flash down. Bot lane has just been kind of trying to find things, but the trade's not meaning much. And outside of that, I think this objective attempt might be the most we see from the early game, but the vision ward's going to stop that.
Yeah, the little scuttle vision really paying dividends, plus the vision ward back behind. I don't know what you'd call that, kind of toward the Raptor area by wing feels pretty good. Yeah, that looks like the experience in this lane. You try to walk up with a barrel combo and you just get comboed by Syndra.
Yep.
Toe's winning that trade pretty hard. He could go a little bit harder on these trades, I feel like. And never mind. As I say that, Densoff has Ignite. Death Lotus is in a little bit of trouble. Stand behind me, just trying to get out to safety. Has the door available, absorbs all the Syndra ult, and is able to stay alive thanks to the shield from Scrams. RPC Wolf taken pretty low. The hook onto Scrams means that he's just there for a couple whacks with his hammer. And overall, you get the flash out of Death Lotus in exchange for a Kali ult. And the Jarvan flash, I guess?
Yeah. That was actually, I'm very surprised that no one ended up dying there. Both a member for each team getting pretty low at the end of that, but again, nothing really coming to fruition here off that gank, but a nice look for sure.
Yeah, Ish still sticking around, goes for the
like
flash
this.
knock-up. Banakali doesn't have his ult, remember. The Ignite burning down Winged, has the auto to try to trade back. He gets the movement speed, but it's not quite enough to get away from the Q, and it's first blood for Banakali.
And that is a really, really nice roam there from Ish. Coming up, knowing Gangplank doesn't have the flash, uses his own that came back up right before that timing comes up, and is able to get the Glacial on and finish off the kill even without Syndra having that ultimate.
Scrams took his second blue buff on Taric. Probably necessary. That guy does burn through some mana, but...
yeah, definitely true.
Yeah, early on though, 1,000 gold lead for Classic Esports. They're probably feeling pretty good about the state of the game right now, but they'll have to start powering through just a little bit, you would imagine. They have the clock ticking just a little bit on them, rather than on this RotM comp that, I mean, you're really looking at 2-3 items, right, on everyone before you're really looking to play the game.
Yeah, but I think they've done a good job of shutting down this Gangplank early. You can already see the level lead.
Oh, the encore from Magic Claps.
Nice
Not quite able to find the
there.
follow-up E. Yeah, good cleanse from Flay. And the wherewithal to walk up rather than down back toward that E. Gonna keep him alive. Oh, maybe not alive. That was a lot of damage from the double Q for Magic Claps. Just holding on to that one. And Flay's gonna have to go back to base.
Yeah, a really nice look there for RTM, trying to catch the MF out of vision with the Seraphine ult. Don't quite connect the follow-up there, but really nice find, and is going to force MF to miss some CS here. I think Magic Claps and Death Lotus have done a really good job in the spot lane.
Yeah, and I've seen the re-prevalence of crit MF. I am kind of curious what mythic you go for, though. This looks like a
It'll
Gale
be Kraken,
Force, but...
I think.
Oh yeah, Kraken does build out of those. Never mind, I don't know what I'm talking about. Cool.
Yeah, that is a typical crit MF build. And I think it works out well here. I think the thing that's really nice about...
Oh.
Ish, nice cancel.
Yeah, I think if Death Lotus had hit the winner's bite, though, there might have been an opportunity. I guess there's no real follow-up.
It is going to secure the dragon for them, yeah. Canceling that back for sure. So, in the end, really nice cancel. Going to pick up the first Drake here, and yeah, I think honestly, Classic picking up these Drakes is going to be really helpful for them in their win con. Trying to force RTM to fight them before they're quite on their item spikes, and that can help accelerate this game for them.
Scrams has to be a little careful here. I don't think that they spotted everyone coming in, and they're not going to spot Scrams leaving, so I'm not going to get anything out of that one just yet. Oh, what a game.
Yep.
Yeah.
I do like that Toe Knuckles is going for more damage build on the Gragas instead of the tank. I think it's really necessary given what RTM has on their comp. Need a little bit more damage from that top laner than normal, but man, Wing is having a really rough time of this lane.
Yeah, that unleashed power, just not quite enough damage from Banakali, but It's sure gonna send him home. He's got nothing he can do about that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Toe, I kind of want to see Everfrost and then just kind of see where you're at after that.
Yeah, definitely getting a read on where you need to go next. And that's what's nice about the Gragas. You can be pretty flexible with what your team needs and what you need to exist, and still be really effective.
I like this from Wolf. If he's able to find anything, they get the knock up onto Toe and the block on the belly slam. They're going in with a Fate Sealed. Toe Knuckles knocks RPZ Wolf back into the turret. The Gangplank ult secures the kill up in the top lane in the trade. So 1-for-1 in the top lane. They get their man, but lose Wolf on the back end.
Yeah, I think Toe Knuckles actually played that pretty well in the 2v1 there to get the kill. It was a really nice Gragas ult to knock J4 further into the turret. And I think he actually would have gotten that kill even without the Gangplank coming in over top, but snipes it from his teammate there, and probably needs it too, given how ROTM's comp is going to go. But Rift Herald going to be summoned here in the bot lane.
Yeah, they're going to lose a little bit of damage on the charge. If you didn't know, her damage is proportional to the amount of health she has left. So Shelly not doing max damage there, but still getting a good little chunk in, get some plates for Magic Lapse and Death Lotus.
Yeah, and notably there, Scrim's doing a good job of, or Death Lotus backing off so Seraphine can go ahead and pick up those plates without sharing the gold there. So accelerating the Seraphine a little bit more, and it's going to be able to pick up the Leandries on this back here.
Yeah, nice important items within 8 seconds of each other. The Essence Reaver for Winged as well feels necessary at this point. I almost wonder, I know you really like having the Ionian boats on Gangplank. I almost wonder if he needed to go Merc Treads just to continue to be able to exist against the Akali.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, there's immediately Flash going to get forced out. Wolf doing a good job just hovering in on that base timing means that can't sneak a ward in that side bush, and he goes unmarked to force the Flash.
Yeah, and we'll have to see if they're able to punish that again. I think another kill hill would be really good. Even though Winged is down a little bit in farm, not going to be much after picking up this wave, but because of the Gangplank passive and the first strike,
well, he missed that cannon, so now it's over.
is actually up in gold over the Syndra, even though I feel like this Syndra has done a really good job here to start.
Yeah, it's still 700 gold difference. There's nothing between the two teams, and 1 minute to go on our second dragon of the game. Death Lotus and Magic Lapse may be in a little bit of trouble, but they have summoner spells, so looks like they've probably navigated this one. Death Lotus has to be a little careful and does have to burn his flash, but
yeah, really effective there. Gank there from Wolf is able to get both bot lane flashes there for not really too much effort, so could definitely look to punish that next time the ult's up, or go mid lane for Wings flash as well. Lots of options here on that ult timer for J4.
I really like that from Banakali, by the way. That was a nice little bit of micro, able to dodge out of the triple barrel potential from Winged, just taking that extra step back away from the minion wave. That's good heads up, because that's how you catch people by surprise when you're playing Gangplank sometimes.
Yeah, for sure. It's going to be interesting to see here if RTM elects to wait a little bit longer to try to contest this Drake. It's going to be spawning here. Well, it's already up, but it looks like with the back timings here, it's going to just be another free Drake here for Classic Esports.
Yeah, ROTM choosing to go ahead and give it away. We'll see what flavor of Rift we get, how many you can give away.
Yeah, it's not going to be in a giveaway state here. We're going to see the Hex Tech come through. And I think RTM's going to really be hard pressed to fight on this third Drake. But not surprised to see them wait till this third Drake, given the comp.
Yeah, they should be in a relatively good spot at that second Drake, and assuming no shenanigans really happen. You should have Gangplank on 2 items. You should have Seraphine potentially on 2 items. Toe should be on like 1.5. Like, it should line up nicely for the item completions. Not that not that Classic won't also be on those same item completions, but as we've mentioned, the spikes just get stronger and stronger for ROTM, and they're going to start to scale off a little bit for Classic unless they start accelerating.
It's definitely a rush for the first tower here. Syndra burning the teleport bot to save the bot lane tower, but we'll have to see where that ends up falling.
Well,
looks like it's gonna be
top
top
lane. Yeah, Densoft just picks up the solo tower top. Really, not too much help up there. The one kill did happen where Wolf kind of I don't want to say kind of. He did trade himself for Toe Knuckles up in the top lane, but Densoft will feel okay about his spot now, assuming that he can go back and finish up his Blade of the Ruin King. So
yeah, and actually,
suck.
I think
Wolf may be in a little bit of trouble. He's got the Flag and Drag out, and no CC forthcoming from Scrams.
Yeah, I think Densoff has actually had a pretty quiet, nice early game here. He's been able to scale up really well, already a half item ahead of Toe Knuckles, and gets that tower for himself. Put it down a lot of pressure into this Gragas, which you kind of expect, but has done a really good job with only the one gank to help out.
Yeah, and Densoft going the degenerate Blade of the Ruin King Sunfire Cape build that you can do on pretty much any champion and have them be effective.
Yeah, and I think it bodes well here. The fights are going to go pretty long, so that combination of the healing from the Bork plus the tankiness from the Sunfire, along with the damage from the passive, is going to be a really good combo, I think, in this game.
Yeah, and I do kind of like putting the bottom lane mid, making it a little harder for Wing to farm ideally, but he's just continuing to hoover it up underneath his tower.
Yeah, and it does look like I'm really interested to see if this tier is going to go into Manamune, or if it was just selected to get through the early game and be able to stack as much as possible on the passive. But
yeah, tower gonna go down. Death Lotus uses his ult, and not gonna get a whole lot in exchange for it. Toe, feeling that Blade of the Ruin King completion, it looks like up in the top lane. Has to head back to base, it looks like.
Yeah, that is going to be really hard to deal with, especially since Densoff has taken the Ignite. Really, the chunk shades like that just set you up so much to be killed in the side lane in a 1v1 scenario. So I think a lot of RTM's hopes are going to be in Toe Knuckles being able to match him.
Ooh, they get the barrel pop. In comes the collapse though. Wolf gets stunned up. Good shield from Death Lotus, keeping some of that damage in check from Flay. Wolf still slowed into snare, into slow, into stun, into death. And Wing picks up his second kill.
Yeah, really the first big proactive play we've seen out of RTM, and it works very well. But Syndra pushing on this bot side, it's going to kind of neutralize that gold. I think it's going to be able to pick up the tower here. So
plus they got the tower in mid. Honestly,
yeah.
It's a good trade for Classic, assuming that they can get back on the map and defend their dragon.
Yep, and I think they definitely will be pretty short death timers here in the early game, and that is a lot of ults expended. You're not going to have the Gangplank ult, I think, ready by the time this dragon spawns, and that's a very big cooldown to not be able to team fight around. So we'll have to see how that ends up affecting this fight for RTM.
Yeah, and you can see Classic already setting up. They've called in Densoft. Banakali's headed up to the top lane because she has teleport. She being the character Syndra, I should probably specify.
I think that's assumed if you're...
If I'm switching pronouns in the middle of a sentence for no reason.
Both teams kind of fighting for vision here.
Yeah, RTM trying to shove in mid. Scrams thinks he's got an angle. Ghosts in. Oh, not quite able to find the stun onto Densoft. Big fake sealed from Densoft, though. But they get the Taric ult down. Do they have the damage actually forthcoming? Into the jacuzzi go a couple of members of ROTM. Scrams and Toe Knuckles going to fall. It's a double kill for Densoft as he's ripping through with his twin swords. Wing trying to hold in the push, but he just can't find it. And it's a 5-for-1 ace for Classic Esports. Oh, yeah, it was one. Sorry.
Yeah, really big fight there for Classic Esports. RTM just kind of funneled in there. was in a really big group and then just got kind of collapsed on from all sides. And that means I think they're going to get both objectives here of the Baron and the Dragon. Syndra smartly splitting up to go do that alone, but we'll have to see with the Hex Gates if they're actually able to do this in time, because it's pretty slow here. But it looks like they're just going to give it up. RTM doesn't think that they can get to it in time.
Yeah, giving up the Baron and gonna try to contest this Dragon, it looks like.
Smite early.
Early smite to keep him alive. Wolf is very low, but they do finally finish that one off. Man, just a breath over there might have finished that one off. They're gonna get the Dragon and stall up the potential Hextech Soul, so getting something back, but look at the gold total off of what's essentially just one fight that's happened this game. It's a 5,000 gold lead for Classic Esports. They have all the towers and all the outer towers down. They have Baron now. This is a scary proposition for the next couple of minutes for RotM unless they can find a big fight.
Yeah, that's for sure. I do think that they're going to have maybe a little bit of a difficult time sieging against RTM. You really do have to dive or get a Blitzcrank pick. I think that's the best way to try to siege around it. And I think importantly, RTM was able to pick up a Drake. So they bought themselves a little bit more time. But yeah, that 5k gold lead is nothing to scoff at all.
Ooh, stun gonna land from Banakali onto Scrams. They're just jumping onto the Taric. He'll counter with a Dazzle of his own into the big Seraphine. Oh, but there's just no damage to follow up. You can see the Seraphine trying her best, but it only gets everybody to about half health, and then they start to regen.
Yeah, definitely not enough damage here, and I think that is the one downfall of the RTM comp, that if you don't have that Gangplank nearby, it's going to be hard.
Looking for Ish. Does he have it? Not quite. That's another good shield from Death Lotus, able to keep Wings safe. Magic Clap's low and taken down by Banakali. The Syndra, 4-0-4 now on the game. Just a terror.
Yeah, Death Lotus has had some nice walls, but it hasn't ended up mattering there. And yeah, just finding the picks that are needed for them to keep sieging here. And this matchup is not getting any easier for Toe Knuckles.
Yeah, gets knocked up the Fate Sealed. The snapback from Densoft, clean as you like. Solo kill for the Yone. And maybe going to find another one with the help of his friend Wolf. Scrams getting burned through, a little dash. Not quite able to find that one. Scrams can't quite find the counter dazzle. The E, though, Densoft still messing with it just a little bit. Takes a couple of tower shots. He'll be fine. Oh, Winged won't be, though.
Wow, yeah. Forget what I said about not being able to siege well. They are getting the picks they need to. The Syndra is just being an absolute menace under the tower here, getting a stun and just able to pretty much combo off of that.
Yeah, Charm lands onto Wolf, but there's no follow-up.
Oh my goodness.
With Wing dead, it's just the defensive encore. Those are
yeah.
words that don't go together in that order, but yeah.
Yeah, Banakali has been landing really nice stuns here, and as the game goes later, it's easier to land that because the E for Banakali on the Syndra has gotten a lot wider, so it definitely makes it quite a bit easier to land.
Oh, 2 minutes to go on another Dragon. I don't know that really is in the back of the heads of Classic. They have burst through a bunch of towers. They can reset in their nice 1-4 that they have, thanks to Densoft mostly. He's just so strong on the Yone. You really can't side lane anything against him. Wing built a Manamune, so there's your answer for that.
Yep. And honestly, I don't know how I feel about it. I think at this point, you're not going to be accelerated enough to probably get to that like 100% crit point just because you're behind. So maybe the Manamune gives him a little bit more damage in this short term, but as we go into the late game, won't help as much for sure.
Yeah, Magic Claps finishes up his Rylai's, and Toe's headed for Tankland. It just means that there's one less source of damage, basically. Toe Knuckles just has the Everfrost.
Yeah, and that is the one thing this comp is definitely lacking for RTM. And I feel like if you're Classic Esports, you don't really feel punished for getting the Seraphine and Taric through for RTM. So as they go into next game, I think they're not going to be too worried about it here, but
Yeah, you can see it did have the effect of kind of shutting down Flay and Ish. Maybe that's what you're worried about. They're both 0-0 and 8, which maybe that was the design, but at the same time, you didn't kill them at all. So you didn't knock them off of schedule. They're just not powered up by a bunch of kills, I guess.
That's for sure. So we'll see as this dragon setup comes down. RTM trying to push, trying to get some objective bounties potentially in this mid lane, but the 5 members grouped up here for Classic Esports around the Drake, it just looks very intimidating with the gold lead they have.
Yep. Ish looking for a hook, and he finds one. Nice grab onto Wing Nation. Bursts him out to about half. Look at the charm just onto the Yone up on the top side. Go through with the Taric ultimate as well. But Winged is stuck in the jacuzzi with Wolf on the backside. They'll finish off Wolf. It looks like maybe he's into stasis on the Guardian Angel. Banakali's dominating on the other side of the fight. And Classic Esports just slowly starting to run through the comp as the 2 tanks have fallen.
Yeah, I was really worried. I don't think that was the best case scenario fight for Classic Esports. I think they were really spread out there, especially Jarvan being like basically 1v3ing in the backline, but there's just no damage for this RTM comp, and you're really seeing that they weren't able to pick up anyone there.
Yep, Banakali does have to use his flash away, but keeps his perfect game alive. Flay and Ish picked up 1 assist each, so 009. It's 2 agents after James Bond.
Yep, the next release. But yeah, I feel like this game is pretty smooth sailing for Classic to pull us out. Just getting this next Baron, I think, should be the goal. Should be allow them to finish off this game pretty easily. If you're RTM, definitely looking to try to get a Baron steal, but just to try to delay this game further. But I don't think you can take a straight up 5v5 fight given how the last few have gone.
Yeah, Wolf Hex Gate's back in. He's standing in the bush. I think RTM saw the Hex Gate go off, so they know someone is there. They may not know it's Wolf, but they know someone is. Now they'll know it's him. He saw the Dragon lance through the wall. He's separated from his team. Does have the smite. Okay, he's got the EQ. And 5,000, 4,000 health. Winged uses the ult to try to slow everything up. Death Lotus from the side hits the Braum ult in. No real steal attempt there from ROTM. Look at the Taric ult. Look for the initiation. Densoft is pretty low. Look at the knockback onto Wolf. He can't quite get the Flag and Drag over the wall because of a nice belly slam. And we'll get 1 shut down in exchange for his scrams. Triple barrel doesn't quite go off there from Wing, but Banakali uses the Zanyas, and now they'll get the shutdown. It's 1,000 gold into the pocket of Toe Knuckles, and our team gets 2 shutdowns for a Baron.
Yeah, I mean, I think that was a pretty even gold trade for RTM, given that they got 2 shutdowns there, one under the Jarvan, one under the Syndra, and that 1,000 gold is going to be definitely felt. Really nice pickup. So not able to get the Baron, but did a good job of team fighting there, able to kind of separate some of the members of Classic Esports from the rest of the team and pick them off.
Yeah, unfortunately, your 1,000 gold went on to Gragas and Taric, so maybe not the best recipients of that gold, but
you'll take anything at this point.
Scrams picks up an Oblivion Orb, and Toe Knuckles finishes up his Thorn Mail and grabs Magic Resist, so a little bit tankier going forward. Toe still... What happened to his barrel? Was that a visual bug?
Autoed?
Did he cancel the Q with an auto? That was really weird looking. I don't know. It looked like he was like he went through the barrel roll animation, and then the barrel.
It's probably just a spectator bug.
All right, Flag eats a barrel. We can see approximately the amount of damage the Winged has. It's okay.
Yeah, definitely if it can land. Definitely looking at this IE next as a purchase for him. And if he can land, just picks it up. So these barrels are going to start hitting really, really hard. So if they can find their mark, could potentially lead to some strong team fighting for RTM.
Are we in maximum Gangplank land where you just don't build a mythic item? Or is he going to build one last? We might not get to find out, which is...
I'm going to think what you'd build.
I mean, you need more crit. Like, you've only got 60%, so... I'd assume you build a crit mythic, and probably Immortal Shield Bow. Densoff gets stunned, but it doesn't really matter. Scrams uses the Terra ult again to go forward.
Ooh.
It's a big charm off that Encore. It's a shutdown that does go to Wing Nation. Scrams gets bopped around in the back, but they do trade 2 for 1. Wing flashes forward. Vanakali, see, that wasn't a crit. That's the big issue that you have right now, but eventually he does pick it up with the burn damage, it looks like. And ROTM picks up 3.
Yeah, I've found a really nice group of fights here for RTM. There's some life in this game. The scaling's finally starting to come through. I think it's really dependent on Gangplank being able to do damage, but I've found some really nice picks so far and definitely keeping the game alive. This 4th Drake is going to, I think, be the decider in this game. Classic Esports is definitely going to want to pick that up, but if RTM can find something or find a fight, are definitely alive in this game.
Yeah, and you should have most of your cooldowns back up. The big issue is look at those Flash Summoner spells. They used 3 of those or 4 of those during the last fight, all at about the same time. Those aren't going to be up. Now look at the flashes on the other side. Everyone but Densoft probably has it for the fight, and Densoft might even. 35. He won't quite have it. So,
it's quite scary with a Jarvan on their team too, with all those flashes down.
I don't want to say you can ignore the 7,000 or the 6,000 gold lead, but the flashes are hard to ignore. That just gives you so much extra safety and outplay potential. But yeah, here we go. In comes Classic Esports into the pit, and they'll spot everyone out. That's a really good Demacian standard from RPZ Wolf to go ahead and spot everyone out in the battle bush. Death Lotus, though, finds maybe a little flank. Hits the winner's bite onto Densoft. They'll knock him back into the team. Toe Knuckles gets bopped around. Where's the damage actually coming from? Winged is dead. So it's not coming from Winged. Can they win the fight now? It doesn't look like it. Classic doing very well for himself. Vanakali just able to solo out Wing Nation on the side. He picks up a double kill. Death Lotus, the last one left, and not for much longer. The double, actually it's a full house, excuse me, for Flay and Vanakali, and they'll finish off game number 1.
Yeah, Vanakali coming through clutch there, picking up basically the only damage source for RTM in Wing Nation on the Gangplank, and was able to find it. It was a good initiation from RTM, but just no follow-up damage really made it difficult for RTM in this game. That is the story, and Classic going to come out to an early lead here in this series, 1-0.
Yeah, GG 20-8, the final count, and you have to imagine it's back to the drawing board for ROTM. The Seraphine Taric has been good for them all season, but this game not looking so great, and it feels like they just need a second damage threat, and they'll be okay.
Yeah, I don't think that the first 3 picks were really the issue for ROTM. It really came down to where they were getting their damage from, and they needed more consistent DPS in those last 2 picks, and weren't able to get that for themselves. We kind of saw the strengths of the comp come out, but I think if you're Classic Esports, I don't think you're really too worried about it. If they can't draft through it, you're just gonna have to pick into it again. I'd be pretty happy to make them do that.
Yeah, well, we'll be right back with game number 2. Water lane if you don't have some.
Water currently coming into my body. Could have phrased that better, but you know.
What? Okay. Lane, you work at Twitch, right?
Indeed.
So there's chat highlights appearance setting.
Yep.
Oh, I can change. Oh, I see.
You can change what it looks like.
Ooh. Can you flag me as a suspicious user? That's very
I
funny.
cannot yet.
Oh.
But
I mean, you can tell that it doesn't work because Otso came in here and posted and he's not flagged suspicious user. Like, come on.
yeah. That's pretty odd. I'll have to report back on that feature and mark it as a bug.
Like, I've seen all these other ones, but yeah, I've never seen suspicious user before, which is probably for the best. But
yeah,
what does it does it define it? Or, no, it doesn't.
I think it doesn't. There might be like a README section that defines it more, but I'm pretty sure it's just about it's like sharing usage data, like bans or blocks from other people. And so it might be marking them either as a bot or as a potentially harmful user.
Well, I didn't know if it meant bots or it just meant like, yo, this person toxic AF.
Yeah, I think that's the distinction. Is it's trying to be relatively ambiguous so that we can label it how we see fit, but it is analytics based as I understand it.
Okay. I'm looking this up. My god. So I have the website in dark mode, but it launches the help section in light mode, which is terrible.
Helps only in light mode, I'm pretty sure.
It's supposed to help detect people that you have already banned and might have made a new account and are trying to evade bans.
There you go.
By using machine learning, which is theoretically like all learning, you know? I don't.
I've liked that they've been able to customize it because it's been the like first time chat and like some other chat highlights were already available, but now you can kind of like customize it to be more in line or stuff like that with the minimized display. For those that don't know what we're talking about, it's if you're a mod on a channel, you can now see specific chat highlights like first time chat or from your subscribers or that type of stuff.
Yeah, well, we're ready to go for game number 2. Classic Esports up 1-0. They had a pretty dominant game number 1, but I think that was more of an artifact of the draft than maybe necessarily the dominance. We'll have to see as we get into game number 2.
I wouldn't take that away from them.
I'm not going to take it away from them.
Really well.
Yeah, they played super well. Just like it was harder to see maybe if RotM was playing well because of how they draft. I don't know what I'm exactly trying to say. But,
yeah. I think Banacali had probably the most standout performance. Yeah. The rest of it definitely felt like the RTM comp just didn't have the damage to be able to do what it needed to. I think that's what you're alluding to, but yeah, Banacali definitely was the standout player from last game, in my opinion. Had a really nice look on the Syndra, was able to really bully the one spot that RTM needed to succeed, which was the gangplank in the mid lane. So excited to see if the Syndra will get through again, and it looks like I think the exact same bans. Yeah. So I'm wondering if we're going to see a salty run back with some different champions in this second phase.
Yeah, this is identical so far. If this is Tarek Seraphine, I might as well just close the stream. Okay.
Yeah, Kai's already going to be picked up as an answer. And I think, honestly, should do pretty well. Has definitely received some good buffs in the last few patches, so it is a really strong scaling spot. And does pretty well because doesn't get super bullied early by the misfortune. But Jarvan going to be the adaptation pick away for RTM here.
I already like this better. It's not maybe as high comfort for the boys as the Taric Seraphine is, but I mean, these are good characters, right? And they're in a good spot so far. We'll see where CE wants to go with their draft. Again, you mentioned Cinder's still up, but Cinder's a little risky into the Jarvan. So we'll have to see what they want to do. It's going to be Graves as our first option for classic esports, and a Mumu for Curse of the Set Bullet Time bottom lane.
Yeah, and based off of last game, I think RTM probably goes with the Braum here just to counter that misfortune and kind of help block some of the damage. Could also see something like Renata might be a good pick here into the hard engage, able to just pick that off, but Leona looks like the pickup, and I like that pick too. Actually able to cancel the MF ult if you save the solar flare for when she's ulting, so it can kind of have some of that same cancellation effect that you would get from the Braum.
Yeah, kind of the opposite idea, right? Rather than protecting your Kai'Sa, we're going to go hard the other way and see if we can turn it around. And I mean, when you get the CC, you apply the plasma stack, you can fly up, and
yeah, and I think it goes well too. You know, it's hard to play melees into other melees that want to go in, because when you're in there, they also CCU. So a Mumu hitting Leona doesn't really do much effectively for that lane. So gonna be all about trying to get on the carries for these two supports.
Yeah, maybe it's the big brain time. Jarvan Leona was a really fun cheese bottom lane for a while.
I would be very surprised, I would not put it past Wing to put Kai'Sa mid lane. Let's just put it that way.
Yep, they're gonna take away the Gangplank and the Soigne this time, so that'll leave
Cassiopeia was the change. So yeah, I mean, even with I mean, they had enough respect of the Gangplank last game, and I think it actually looks a lot better in this game so far. But Mordekaiser are going to be the blind pickup here for Toe Knuckles in the top lane.
That's kind of interesting. I was going to say things like the Ornn, the Scion, a little bit tankier options are where we tend to see them go on a blind R4, but Mordekaiser for Toe Knuckles means that he's got to be pretty confident into this champion pool of Densoft that he can handle whatever it is with the Mord.
Yeah, and I don't think there's a ton of punishing picks for Mordekaiser that most people play. Darius definitely does, I think, pretty well into the Mord. It's not going to allow him to really do what he likes to do, which is kind of let people come into him and fight him on his own terms. Darius tries to do the same thing, but I think slightly better than the Mordekaiser does. So
yeah, especially early on, Mord damage 1 through 5 isn't wild usually, and that's where Darius is strongest. So could be a really strong pickup. And the Lissandra for Banakali, not the most exciting champion, but really does fit kind of the niche that they're missing, a little bit more AoE lockdown to follow up on the Mumu with.
Yeah, definitely want a secondary form of engage with these engage supports. Lissandra, really nice pickup. We've seen a lot of Korean teams pick it up in Worlds, and definitely gives you really good gank setup with your jungler post 6, able to get some early kills. Vel'Koz is going to be the answer. And I like this with the lockdown RTM that has they've drafted for themselves here. He's able to kind of keep his distance as well from the fight, which I think is going to be pretty important with the Amumu Lissandra misfortune combo. So
yeah, I do worry a little bit. Just you don't have any protection for Vel'Koz at all. Everyone else wants to dive, and then Vel'Koz will be just kind of there, disintegrating some life forms and kind of needing to be self-sufficient. I think in these fights.
Yeah, the biggest form of protection that I think you can get is a Mordekaiser ulting whoever gets in the backline onto this Vel'Koz, which I think is not a bad idea, especially if that champion is Darius. Will be very spooky, but we'll have to see how Toe Knuckles decides to use a very powerful ultimate from Mordekaiser.
All right, well, we're into draft number 2. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm assuming it's loser pick side.
Yeah.
Here for rules. So yeah, RTM definitely wanting to stick with that. red side here.
Yeah, I think as a team, they really value having the counter pick kind of regardless of everything else.
Yeah, I think that makes sense too. I think there's a lot of actually really strong champions that you can pick up depending on what blue side goes round 1. So
well, as we watch it zip through for the second time, thank you guys again for joining us. 1-0 for Classic Esports. You can find the other quarterfinal on the Metashift stream if you're looking to do that. Pull us up in a box if you wouldn't mind. Give us the views because that's really nice. If you don't follow the channel, please hit the follow button. That's all the shilling I really have. What you thinking?
Not thinking about much. I think the game will be kind of exciting because we get 2 kind of conventional team comps, and both of them not really looking to scale much, except maybe the Kaisa for RTM. So I think it'll be a pretty fun game, and we'll see how RTM does on a completely different comp.
Ooh, gonna yawn out early. But yeah, definitely a different look for Return of the Middle Sticks, kind of back to a traditional comp, and this is an important game, I think, for ROTM. If they're going to flip it around, it feels like the 2-0 hole just because of how these drafts have played out. Like, we couldn't beat them with the Tarek Seraphine that we've gone back to. We couldn't beat them with a normal comp. It feels really hard to turn it in that game 3, right?
Yep.
There's some 2-0s that's like, oh, those were some close games, you know, we just fixed this one thing in draft. But the manner in which they lost that first game, if it happens again, feels a little doomed. So I think this is a very important game for our team.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely really hard to fight out of the 2-0 hole.
That and amateur best of 5s, notably 3-0s about 50% of the time, I'd say. Maybe more than that.
Yeah, sometimes you just get a good matchup or the momentum is just too much to overcome.
I feel like it's usually you just kind of work out what draft works for you, and it gets harder and harder to answer as the series goes on.
Yeah, and sometimes I think teams are a little too afraid to change up their bans based on what worked last game. I think picking that out early is definitely a good idea. Trying to make them show that you can beat on a different comp, and we definitely see a little bit different comp from Classic. I think RTM did a good job of picking the Jarvan away, which I think RPZ Wolf was really effective on in game 1. So I'll be interested to see how they utilize the Graves in a different playstyle. See if they will be just as effective, but I expect Jarvan to kind of help out his lanes here in the early game for scrims.
Yeah, that's an interesting point, because a lot of the lead that we saw Classic build in game number 1 was off the back of Wolf's early ganks on the Jarvan and being able to blow flashes and get his lanes into good states. They didn't capitalize on them like 100%. There wasn't that immediate success, but you could tell that just the constant pressure, the constant not having flash up, meant that our team had to play more back, couldn't go for big or risky CS leads, and just generally, especially in mid lane, like Gangplank couldn't walk up because now you're flashless Gangplank. What are you gonna do?
Yeah, it was definitely very scary, and I think Ish had some really good roams as well on the Blitzcrank to kind of punish Winged in the mid lane, and I think they have the setup with the Lissandra to be able to do that again in mid with Amu, Lissandra, Graves. Definitely enough damage and CC there to be able to punish it. So if they come in with that same game plan of punishing this mid lane, I think that'll be a good idea for them. But it will definitely not be quite as punishing to RTM's comp because they have some other areas to carry from, namely the Mordekaiser and the Kaisa.
yeah, so we'll see how Magic Collapse and Death Lotus are able to navigate a more traditional bottom lane against Flay and Ish. Last game, I mean, was fine, about as fine as you can be on Seraphine and Braum.
Yeah. I mean, I think they definitely took their moments to fight. Ended up almost finding some kills for themselves. I think there were some really good Seraphine ults from Magic Collapse, but again, just not enough follow-up damage. So mechanically, I think they played the game very well. Death Lotus also had some really nice Braum shields into the Misfortune R. So I think the biggest thing here, and something that I think is really difficult to do when you're playing against MF as Leona, is to save that R for when she does elect the press the Misfortune bullet time. I think it can be a really effective tool, and sometimes you just get in that engaged support mentality and like, I need to use my solar flare, but saving it for that Misfortune ult coming through, I think can be more powerful to break up that big ultimate for Misfortune.
Well, here we go. Game number 2 loading up right now.
Yeah, RTM is going to have to be very careful for this invade. Amumu extremely strong at level 1, having 2 Qs to follow up CC with yourself. So I do expect, based on them invading in game 1 with the Blitzcrank, that they will do that again here. But we will see.
Yeah, it feels like Surprise Party have been relatively prepared at level 1. Throughout the season, really. They seem like they research pretty well what's going to happen at level 1 and haven't fallen into any snafus thus far.
Yeah, I think they did a really impressive job in level 1, even without vision, just kind of knowing that they'd invade. But it looks like it's just going to be a 5-point here.
Wing might have to be a little careful. Yeah, just going to get the plasma fission damage down early. Doesn't get anything for it, unfortunately.
Both teams kind of trying to get a ward down in this early river, but Scram's going to be able to place it in a bush around mid lane. But oh, they might have found an Ish here.
I don't think they'll get a whole lot more than
just
a nice little chunk, but
I assume Leona leveled up Q already. That might have been a spot that you could actually just hold it and
we saw him fish for the E right at the start. So.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I missed that. But yeah, I think that's nice that you can pick either there, and maybe if the E hits, you have a kill angle. But
I don't know that
gonna be enough to chink them out. Oh, they don't know. They didn't see it. So it's okay.
I don't know what he was trying to do. Like, a lot of times you can see, oh yeah, he was trying to place a
like
ward.
Press S or something. I don't know.
There's nothing really close to F on the keyboard. I'm not really sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was D when I'm trying to dance. Magic Collapse is very low. This is really scary. Good flash, though. Flay just... What ability does Flay have? Does he have E?
What? Let me see.
Because
yeah, the Q's there.
Okay, I was gonna say you level Q and you just bop it through Death Lotus into Magic Collapse and you get the kill, but it must have been on,
just flash
either on
after
cooldown
the flash and
or...
Kaisa too. Yeah, I don't know. Very interesting. Regardless, very good trade. Gonna get the flash out early for Magic Collapse. Wasn't quite able to find that last auto for Falladion, but
I don't know that it's good trade necessarily, because it's 80 carry flash for 80 carry flash, right? So it's just an even trade, and Ish used his Ignite. You actually have a summoner advantage if you're ROTM. You probably can't be aggressive into Amumu MF right now, but
yeah,
there's a potential maybe for something to happen down there.
Yeah, it definitely opens things up, but I think the lockdown from Amumu is enough to warrant it.
Oh no! Look at this! Look at where Scrams is. Look at where
nice.
Scrams is. He's back behind. He's gonna wait just a second for the E. Oh, Death Lotus didn't hit the E. So no Zenith Lady flashes forward for the Q.
Yeah.
Flay doesn't have flash, but they just don't have the damage. The passive proc isn't quite there from Magic Collapse, but the bandage toss isn't there either. Death Lotus with the re-engage, the EQ, and it's first blood for Death Lotus. Scrams falls in exchange, and now Wolf is the most healthy person in this bottom lane as he'll walk on through, but can't really engage into the minions. So 1-1 in the bottom lane.
Yeah, Maris making me eat my words there as the flash being down is immediately punished on the MF. I think, honestly, really nice flash from Scrams to able to follow up on the Leona CC. I think a kill that was gonna leak away there. Death Lotus finds the E that he needed to finish that off, and 1-for-1 trade, but the first blood goes over to RTM, so slightly in favor for them.
Who wound up with the red buff? That's what I want to know. Does Leona have it? Does Amumu have it? Did it disappear into the ether? Leona doesn't have it. Leona got first blood, so it's on Amumu, right?
Because she died. Yeah, so Mumu has it. So
Okay.
there you go.
Big Amumu DPS with the red buff. Let's go.
Honestly, makes it easier to hit your skill shots with the slows. So, and it does like to be in your face. So this could be pretty scary. Wow.
I don't know if you're like just a split second behind, maybe?
It's possible.
435, 36? I'm
yeah,
gonna hit
I was
plus
like,
just in case. Okay.
I hit plus and I was a little behind. So
I was also a little behind, but I wasn't as behind as you, I guess. That was weird. Thank you, Riot Spectator client.
yeah.
I was just like, oh man, he's really reacting to that Make It Rain that happened like 1 second ago.
Yeah. Wing definitely having a lot easier time in this mid lane on the Vel'Koz. The range versus range matchup definitely helping out there.
It
Not
might
getting
as
quite
well
as
be
punished.
range versus melee the other way. Like, as much range as Vel'Koz has compared
that's
to
true.
Or Lissandra.
That is true.
That was a good sidestep by Vanakali. But yeah, navigating his range much better, and Death Lotus getting a little greedy, not navigating his, but he'll go in for the counter engage. Blocks the second bandage toss, Flay low, so it's Death Lotus. The ignite is enough to finish him off, and Magic Claps doesn't want to get too greedy there going after Flay. So 1 for 0, and Ish comes away with an extra kill. Oh, the double up. Jungler fight? No. Okay.
Yep. Definitely a nice find there near their tower too, but just punishes Death Lotus for walking up a little bit too far without that flash, and the chain CC that comes through, and Death Lotus trying to go in. I don't know if Death Lotus actually makes it out, trying to walk away from that, so don't really mind them looking for a way to try to trade kills, but the wave being where it was just made it impossible for Magic Claps to get on the NMF and finish off a very close kill.
Yeah, now falling further behind, the extra assist plus the CS difference that did exist until Magic Claps ate that extra wave means that Flay... Never mind. I don't know why I'm deciding to talk. Magic Claps just buys a Noon Quiver, and that means that my point about there being more damage on Flay doesn't matter. Alright.
Yep, and the flashes have come back up for Classic Esports bot lane. Death Lotus still waiting on his to come back up. So potential kill angle there. But yeah, Densoft doing a really good job in this top lane again.
Yeah, just really making Toe Knuckles regret picking Mordekaiser blind. So far.
Yeah, so far for sure. Has not gotten any help there and has built a really nice CS lead for themselves in this top lane.
Winged and Scrams are waiting to see if maybe they can catch a Lissandra on the rotation. Are they going for it? Oh,
Scrams are now ult though.
Didn't hit the Aegis for the slow, and now he's just dead. What was that bandage toss? That didn't look like it hit.
It looked like it hit on my screen. I don't know.
Oh, it looked like it went. It looked like a Nautilus hook does sometimes, where it went below winged and then it just like hooked onto him.
Yeah, I will say the Mumu hitbox is definitely wider than it says. Not quite as big as.
Well, and it was also an elevation change, so like.
Yeah, makes sense.
Who really knows what happened there, but because Spectate doesn't deal with that very well. Level 6 for Flay, which means this is a very scary proposition for Death Lotus and Magic Claps. Oh, now level 6 for Magic Claps. Okay, we're good for a second.
Yeah, I think they may have actually been able to fight that with how big the wave was, but the ghost popped here for Densoft is going to force a flash out of Toe Knuckles. So again, Densoft just doing a really good job of building a slow lead over Toe Knuckles. Saw this in the last game as well, and has been playing really, really solid up there.
Yeah, not a whole lot that Toe Knuckles can really do in that matchup early on. Ish just walking forward with the minion wave. Why not? Yeah, right now Rift Herald looks like it might be an issue. Wolf just gets burned through by the Lifeform Disintegration Wave Winged. Oh, he flashes over the thick part of the wall and is able to survive. And now Toe Knuckles is able to walk down with Scrams. Meanwhile, Zenith Blade doesn't connect in the bottom lane, but Ish finds his bandage toss. Toe Knuckles still trying to ward off the rest. Magic dashes in. They're looking for Flay. They're just kind of ignoring the Amumu in the back lane. But the little charge, he can't quite get in, and the bandage toss lands from the Amumu for the kill for Ish. He's 3-0-1 on the Amumu.
Yeah, such a close fight there. It looked really funny because both supports end up just fighting the ADCs kind of one-off, but the Kaisa able to use the R to jump in and just walks a little bit too far under tower there with the bandage toss available for the Amumu. So a pickup there from Classic Esports. Really nice find, and yeah, Ish is just going off on the Amumu carry over here.
Yeah, on the other side of the map, though, not as good for Classic Esports. The kill for Winged, able to use all of his summoner spells to get over the wall out to safety. And Scrams picks up the Rift Herald, which they're going to drop mid and try to extend this lead just a little bit for Winged.
Yeah, Winged is really the one bright spot here in the early game for RTM, so giving a little bit extra gold to him is going to be very valuable.
That was really big brain by Scrams. He finds the Ish, but it might not matter because here comes the Curse of the Sad Mummy. RPC Wolf is there and picks it up with the collateral damage. Flash from Scrams over 2 walls, and he's out. So he spotted him out with the sweeper, which I thought was really great, but just not quite enough respect, it looks like, and Ish had enough initiation tools to get in and find another kill in mid.
Yeah, Ish finding just a really good engage there. Has really been all over the map. Has been finding the kills that have been needed for Classic Esports to build this 1500 gold lead. Does now notably have that shutdown, so that could be something that RTM can pick up for themselves, notably because Amumu has to be in the midst and kind of throwing himself at people to be able to get off his CC, but Scram's going to try to find something here. Doesn't connect.
Oh, well, bullet time onto Scrams, and he can't quite get out. Flay picks up another kill in the bottom lane. Meanwhile, Banakali getting in onto Winged, uses all of his stuff. Winged is able just to walk out.
Yeah, Scrams has just not been nearly as effective as RPZ Wolf was in game 1, but you see...
Ooh. There's a lot of things happening.
Oh my.
Lifeform Disintegration Ray, the E is enough to get the trade in the mid lane.
Yeah, just stepping a little bit too far forward there into the Disintegration Ray from Winged. So able to trade kills there. Still not too bad for them, especially because Winged is going to miss this big wave, but Scram's there to collect that.
Yeah, maybe that's what Scrams needs to get back into the game, as it were. This is not what Toe needs. This is not looking so great for him. Gets the pull in. The big shield, though, so he's fine.
Yeah, and again, it's just Densoft, I think, building just a slow advantage, just kind of a war of attrition here in the top lane. Definitely finding a nice lead for themselves. Toe Knuckles notably kind of going for this tank build with the first item. Not really sure how to feel about that. I feel like you kind of need the damage to kind of contend with the Darius. I think just going into the tank is kind of what Darius wants, because longer the fights go, generally the Darius goes pretty well. So maybe need some of that burst or healing that you'd potentially have from a Rift Maker to kind of match the damage Darius has. But it's still pretty scary when you're down 40 CS in top lane. So
yeah, I feel like it's the classic combo, right? You just want Bramble and your Tabi, and then you go into a little bit of AP.
Woo!
Banakali. Ooh, that wasn't quite the pop, but it's not gonna matter because Wing picks up the kill. They'll trade it for a dragon, it looks like, unless Scrams... Okay, can't quite get in time. But just throws Flay into the pit. They'll take down the MF. Another shutdown for Winged, and 2 kills for a dragon doesn't feel too bad. I'll take that trade.
Yeah, and notably 2 kills onto Winged, who is your one carry that's doing really well for RTM. So picks up 2 kills for themselves there. I think Banakali actually could have prevented that kill potentially. Didn't elect to use the R on themselves and kind of get out of that disintegration ray. Maybe thought they could get over the wall in time, but Winged positioning himself really well there. And then a really nice ult from Scrams to trap 2 of the Classic Esports members in the Cataclysm.
Did Flay not have flash at the time?
I think he did, but I think they got ulted and then knocked up, and then like the CC combo was too much. So I think he could have flashed initially after getting in the cage, but as soon as the knock up from J4 came through, it was pretty much over. But maybe he also didn't have it up.
Yeah, he might not have. I'm not. That's not a man. That guy should have flashed. It was a. I don't know. Yeah. Maybe it could have been. I don't know. Death Lotus walking up very aggressively just to ward right in the faces of Wolf and Ish, but
everybody aware that they're there. Nobody really wanting to take the fight. So
Magiclops finds a Void Seeker. Everyone just buzzing around the mid lane right now. In fact, it is a 4v4 or a 4v3, excuse me, because MF is down in the bottom lane, Darius is up in the top lane, and so is Mordekaiser in the bottom. So ROTM starts up a Rift Herald, which I don't know about this one. They're really separated right now. Death Lotus takes a lot of damage. Scrams is very low. Densoft starts the reset party early and finishes off that first kill. Solar Flare not quite going to land. Tonakles pulls Wolf into Cyber Brazil, and it's not a great day in there for Wolf, as he does get immediately taken down. They're able to kite back out Densoft and take that one down. Magiclops picks up his first kill of the game. Ish has to use the Curse of the Sad Mummy defensively, but gets hit by Plasma Fission on the way out, and ROTM picks up the extra kill. Another shutdown for Wing Nation, and they've clawed it back. Now it's about a 1,500 gold lead for Classic Esports, and it'll get chunked into just a little bit more thanks to that tower.
Yeah, and I think the big thing there was that RTM moved Tonakle's bot lane, had the teleport available, and actually ended up making what looked pretty bad for Scrams a 4v4 when it could have been a 3v4 if they hadn't elected to do that. So ended up turning a play that looked pretty bad at the start into a good play for themselves. Winged, again, the beneficiary of the gold there, picks up the shutdown onto the Amumu, so it's going to keep accelerating him, but Scrams
looking for a little bit more. They do finish off Banakali thanks to a little bit of help from Sheila as they return to the scene of the crime. Magiclops trying to kite back out, but now that MF is there, it's going to push all the members of RTM off. Ish is very low. Magiclops dives in to try to trade himself and successfully does, I guess, but Flay finishes him off. And now Flay, Densoft, and Wolf can head back to the Rift Herald and take it down. No help available from Tonakles, so it's a 5v4 back the other way.
Yep, but a 2-for-2 trade there doesn't feel too bad, especially with Scrams getting picked again right at the start. So able to the one grace there is that Classic Esports is going to pick up the Rift Herald, but yeah, Winged again getting some kills, trying to accelerate, and I think really needs to be the carry for RTM.
Yeah, on the other side, though, Flay having a pretty monster game on the Misfortune. It's felt like anywhere that he is, there's been a lot of successful things happening for Classic Esports. So it'll be a matter of seeing which long-range linear R ability does more damage, I guess.
Yeah, and I think that's where it's going to be really important for Death Lotus to try to save their R to counter the Misfortune R. Got to shut that down, especially with all the CC combos that Classic Esports has available to them with the Lissandra and the Amumu. Big AoE stuff, so...
25 seconds to go on this dragon. It's dragon number 3, Hextech Dragon once again on the table. And Ish and Wolf already have set up in that side bush. RTM has some nice deep wards right now, but they really need their buddy Toe Knuckles to come on in if they're looking to contest. And now we start to head down, but we'll drop Sheila in the mid lane to go ahead and charge into that tier 1 tower. And is this a contest from ROTM? Are they going to get mid lane priority and walk in? Do they even have enough time to do that if that's the plan that they want to go for? So far, it's okay. 6,000 health left on the Dragon. Scrams gets pulled in by Densoft. The Darius doing quite a bit of damage, and they'll dunk down Densoft and Ish. They will finish off the Darius, but now Dragon does go over to Classic Esports. Ish is in the Death Realm right now with Toe Knuckles, but immediately comes out, and the Curse of the Sad Mummy plus the bullet time finishes off 1 kill. Now looking for Winged as they try to get on to the Vel'Koz in the backline. It's a double kill for Flay. He's just working his way through Toe Knuckles. It's a triple kill for Flay, and Winged back the other way. Does he have the cooldowns? He's got a double kill in the tank for himself. He'll finish off a triple kill, but it's a quadra kill for Flay back the other way. And Winged and RPZ Wolf for the last 2 left alive for their respective teams.
Yeah, the carries just dueling it out here for both teams. Notably, Classic Esports is going to pick up the 3rd Dragon of the game, which is really, really big for them. It's going to force RTM to try to fight them, but just a wild team fight there. Winged picking up the triple kill and Flay picking up the quadra. So I think this is going to be the story of the game as things progress here. Which carry is going to be able to do more damage and play it well. But notably, Wing Nation did have to burn his flash in that fight. Had a good flash to get himself out of danger, but could be very punishable here for the next few minutes.
Scram's running away from Ish. Looks like he'll get away successfully after taking the crab. And everyone's set up again to go ahead and duel over this Baron, but Magic Collapse is on the bottom side of the Rift right now, so our team can't really contest, but in comes the Solar Flare from Death Lotus, looking for a quick pick onto Ish. It's a lot of damage, but now Winged is in a lot of trouble. Bandakali uses his ult to stare him up, and it's a double kill for Flay. They'll pick up the extra one, and Classic Esports finds 3 kills without their AD carry available, and now the Baron started up.
Yeah, and there's that flash being punished. Just an overreach there by Death Lotus going in too far, baits Wing Nation into trying to do damage in a really tough spot for him, and ends up losing 2 members there, and then Scram's coming in at the end. So that's going to mean the Baron, and that could blow things wide open here for Classic Esports. Just kind of a big turn there that is going to give them a 6,000 gold lead in this game.
Yeah, and that's about a 3,000 individual gold lead for Flay over Magic Collapse, but I can't imagine going for that play without Magic Collapse available. You have to know that he's down on the bottom side of the Rift. There's just no way to walk in at that exact moment.
Yeah, you could definitely see in I think Wing's positioning that he was like, well, I got to try to help Death Lotus out here, but then kind of realized it too late. And it's really hard to leave teammates to die there, but I think Death Lotus just overstepped too far there, trying to find a pick. So,
well, 6,000 gold lead for Classic Esports. They have the Baron available. Wolf is on the hunt. As it turns out, wolves do occasionally. Just going to get a ward for his trouble and continue to stand in that bush, because what's really going to dislodge him? A Void Seeker? I don't care about that. He's here to shadow ban a Kali and make sure that they can get some damage down on this bottom lane tower. And now Flay is going to Hex Gate on in, and they have the rest of the squad. Except Densoft,
sure.
Who's just doing the Darius thing. He's up on the top side of the Rift. And who can really answer him right now? Can Toe Knuckles hold the lane against Densoft?
I don't think so. Doesn't have the damage. Is just basically a full tank with the build that Toe Knuckles elected to go. So he's going to have a hard time clearing waves as well, especially against these Baron empowered minions. I think maybe the play for RTM here is just to kind of try to group up on this Darius, because I don't think you can really contest the 4v4. So trying to find a pick here might be the way to go, and it looks like they've elected to do that, but the reinforcements come in for Classic Esports.
Yeah, Ghost Flash enough for Densoft to get out, and then the threat from Ish and Flay means that our team can't continue to go for it. So just get the Summoner spells, which, I mean, at least it's something. Wolf gets a little damage down. They finish off that bottom lane tower and then work their way toward the inhibitor tower themselves. Now mid lane under threat, and they're really pulling RTM apart at this point.
Yeah, just spreading the map out. I think this Darius not being able to be contested is really hurting RTM, because they're able to just spread the map out so wide that they're not able to contest everything at the same time. And this dragon number 4 is spawning, so 30 seconds here for RTM to try to walk into them, but this is really scary, this death bush, especially because RTM has not been able to step into this part of their jungle for the last few minutes.
Yeah, and those were some really late recalls as well. They're going to have to go in through mid lane, and 15, 14 seconds left. This is it for RTM here in game number 2. They've got to win this fight now, and it doesn't look like there's going to be any nonsense going on. I like the patience to walk in through mid rather than try to contest headlong in through the jungle, but now they're at a point where they're going to have to face check anyway, and they'll pull in Scrams. Densoft just getting a lot of damage down. Flag and drag over the wall, and Scrams dies before he's able to get the smite. So Hextech Soul goes over to Classic Esports, but now on the backside, the Lifeform Disintegration Rate just a little out of range. Flay and Toe Knuckles duel in the Death Pit right now. Densoft gets so much healing. Magic Claps can't escape the Darius, and now Ish comes in for the double kill for Densoft. And what do you say about that? That's a hard one. It's 3 for 2, which is relatively even, but it's still the extra man advantage, and Toe Knuckles might fall into this one anyway.
Yep. Ooh, nice flash. So, yeah, I think actually Toe Knuckles played that fight really well, TPing in on the board and taking away Fladeon from the fight. I think that actually could have been a potentially game-ending fight, especially with Scrams getting picked so early. I think Densoft did a really good job of just playing kind of linebacker there and making sure that Scrams didn't get to the Dragon Pit without taking a huge chunk of damage, and they were able to kill him before that dragon goes down. But the big win there, Classic Esports, is going to pick up the 4th dragon and that soul. So this is looking really dire for RTM. I think if they have any way back into this game, I think Toe Knuckles has to do what he did in that last fight and take Fladeon out of it, because he was actually able to trade kills there with MF being super strong, was able to do the 1v1 in the Death Realm. So
yeah, I still question if you're doing this build, if you're going Sunfire into Thornmail, I don't know why you're doing it on Mordekaiser and not like Ornn or Scion
yeah.
or
any other tank.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it went okay that one fight, so it can't be too aggressive. Wolf. Yeah, just not quite able to hit the knock-up, and now Wolf still very healthy, but now he's in the Death Realm with Toe Knuckles. Winged is just trying to kite back out. He gets a little damage down on the Banakali, but there's so many stasis effects. Densoft is on a rampage. Banakali flashes forward. Winged is able to finish him off, but now what is the rest of this fight going to look like? Death Lotus ticking down thanks to that Darius burn, and he'll get executed for the triple kill for Densoft, and they'll hit the Curse of the Sad Mummy. Ish finishes off Wing. Magic Claps trying his best, but there's nothing there. It's a quadra kill for Densoft, and he lives, and I don't know if they can finish it off, but that's a statement from Classic Esports.
Yeah, really nice find there. 2 quadras in this game for themselves, and I really think these 2 games, it's been Densoft kind of building just this slow, methodical lead in the top lane that just kind of gets released towards the end of the game, and I think has done a really silently good job here for Classic Esports in these 2 games. But RTM is going to stay alive for now. They're going to just walk away with the single Nexus Tower taken and try to go for this Baron, potentially?
Yeah, they have a lot of healing across their members, but I don't know that it's...
Yeah,
it's a little risky.
Scary. I think this is the one time that RTM can actually take a fight, but this thing is just burning down.
Yeah, RTM a little bit late to the party. Now going to get spotted. 4,000, 3,000, 2,000. Scrams is in. He can't steal it. He takes it down to 92. They'll get the trade kill back over the wall. Can they get a little bit more, though? RTM, they'll pull Winged over the wall with the Apprehend, but it's a shutdown onto Densoft anyway. Flay just trying to get away. There's nowhere for him to go, but he turns around and shoots Winged in the eyeball. That's very painful, and he'll get the trade back. So 2 for 2 after the Baron does go over to Classic. They'll continue to extend their lead out to about 12,000 gold, if I can do math.
Yeah. And I think, honestly, it's nice there. RTM is able to pick that up. I think if you're Classic Esports, you don't really need to do the Baron right there. I think it's just a little too greedy. They're able to walk away with some of it, but I think they could have just reset and done the Baron anyway. and they would have been a lot better spot. Be able to spend the gold that you got in the top lane, be able to come back with full health bars, and you could just take that fight instead of having to run away at the end of it. But
yeah, I
in
think
the end,
the
doesn't matter
pressure
too much.
the pressure you're feeling is that you don't want ROTM to walk in and just steal a free Baron, but like you have Hex Gates, like they. You have so much speed to get back there, it doesn't matter. Even if they burn it down, which they can't really do, because, like,
Yeah.
Kai'Sa's pretty far behind. Like, Wing does some decent damage, but it's not Baron killing damage, so... Yeah, I don't know that you're under that much threat. So a little bit of a misstep, I think, from Classic, but, like, does it matter in the grand scheme of things? No, not particularly. They're still up 11,500 gold, and they have Baron.
and the soul. So Scram's gonna try to find something here.
He's looking for it. Flay taken pretty low, but they get all the CC onto Wing. Finally able to pop that stopwatch right at the end. Magic Claps goes in, finishes, and last hits flayed on, but now Ish gets onto Magic Claps. The Kai'Sa trying to put out the secondary damage just isn't there as Wolf finishes it off. It's a double kill for Banakali, and Toe Knuckles in the death realm with Ish now pops out, unfortunately, into the waiting arms of the rest of Classic Esports. They lose just Flay, but the rest of the squad rolls on through mid, and it's a 2-0 series lead for Classic Esports.
Yeah, and finding that fight there in a 5v4, just kind of a last effort play there for RTM with their dying breath trying to find that. But yeah, Classic Esports has looked really, really good in these two games. I think if you're RTM, you kind of need to find an answer to this MF and to Densoft. Whatever that may be, maybe it's just picking something with a little bit more utility in that top lane to kind of offset the slow losses that are already accumulating there. But a really, really nice 2 games here from Classic Esports.
Yeah, I feel like you have to do something about that MF ban. I think on the other end, if you pick Red Side again, you just flip Winged and Toe Knuckles pick. I think you can blind Vel'Koz. I don't know that that's a huge issue. I feel comfortable with Wing Blind Cassiopeia, something like that. Something,
right.
Big damage.
Swain, yeah.
And then give
whatever it gets through.
Give Toe Knuckles a counter pick so that he can be a little bit more comfortable, maybe. I'm not sure. It's a hard one. This is a tough puzzle to solve, and now RTM has to try to solve it, or they're going home. Boom. 2-0, Classic Esports, and we'll be right back with Game 3. Cool. We finished the World's 2022 Champ Select Musics today, so now we're into LEC 2022 Summer Finals music. This one's pretty cool. It's called Hyperstorm.
They're like a Spotify playlist with those?
No, I just look on YouTube. You gotta get in here. They're all ready.
Oh, whoops, doozle. Ran to the bathroom. I am here though.
And we swap sides, which means I have work to do.
Yeah. I like the switch up here, the decision from RTM. You got to make something change. So my guess is they're going to look to probably take away that MF pick that has been really successful.
Yeah, but I feel like if you're Classic, you know that they're looking to take away the MF pick.
Yeah. But there's so many good round 1 picks. I mean, you've got Silas, you've got Maokai, you've got MF here, you've even got Caitlyn. So a lot of powerful picks that will be up that Classic has not had to think about yet because they've been blue side for 2 games. So we will see what ends up happening here and what the change is.
Yeah, I mean, you got to change something up. Maybe just the angle on the rift is going to help you out. That's what my wife would say. The angle's just better on some nerf.
Did somebody say angles? Locks and Vel'Koz's first pick.
Well, they have the automatically mirrored mode on Wild Rift. I know a lot of people that would just only want to play blue side forever. like even if it's mirrored on Summoner's Rift. I guess the tech isn't there yet.
Yeah, maybe so.
I mean, you'd have to make the models. You make the models to only be viewed from one angle, right? So it's probably kind of rough. As many bugs as there are in the game, I can't imagine how many that would cause just trying to flip the Rift around. So at some point, I'm pretty sure they're going to just do League 2.0, try to build it from the ground up.
I mean, I would really like to see them do it to the client. I get jealous of all the Wild Rift tweets that I see that like basically they just took all the learnings Riot had about the client and the like nice systems that we wish we had on League and just put them into Wild Rift. So I would really like to see a lot of things fixed about the client and some of the quality of life stuff that Wild Rift has, which I think they are trying to address, specifically like item builds and stuff like that a lot of the websites were already doing. They're trying to do this preseason, so maybe we'll see some other nice changes come in. But
see, you say stuff like that, but then like they put in the new event shop, and it's just like,
yeah, it's
what
awful.
is this AI or UI? Not AI, UI. Like it's much more difficult to navigate than the old one used to be, and for what? So that you can have a pass track on the bottom?
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's really funny that I feel like Riot did the loot system, like they tried to do it, and it just didn't work out well. Like, I don't know. Like compared to other loot stuff, it feels like I have like no motivation to like spend money on loot boxes or anything like that because it's just skin shards that I end up getting out of it. But we'll see. Interestingly, RotM banning away the Misfortune.
Oh shit! They started the draft. My bad. Yeah, welcome. Oh. Game number 3. Turn the middle sticks on blue side. They didn't say R in the chat, so I was just like, I'm lost. All right, really quick. Olaf Akali MF banned by ROTM. Maokai, Veigar, and Silas once again by Classic. The Caitlyn's left up, so that's picked for Magic Claps, and now the counter for Classic Esports. You can't pick MF, and you can't pick Caitlyn.
Yeah, and those were actually the exact same bans we've seen in these two games. The only switch up is that RTM banned the MF instead of Caitlyn, and then took the Caitlyn away. So obviously a lot of priority on that pick, and based off of what Death Lotus has played in the first two games, I expect is going to be another engaged support with this Caitlyn, able to pair with those traps, and I think that'll be a really strong combo. Caitlyn just seems in a really strong spot here on this patch.
Yep, Ashe going to be locked in for presumably Flay. Could theoretically be a support Ashe. That'd be a little strange.
Or a mid 3. With the Ghost.
Oh, the Hecarim. Hecarim Ashe is a very classic combination, and one that I really like seeing. Maybe not against my boys, but you know, Hecarim Ashe is a hell of a start to a draft for Classic Esports.
Yeah, and if Classic also throws in like a Zillion or a Yuumi here, I will be in draft. I'll be enjoying the draft that they put on. I think they've had really solid drafts the last two games. Definitely know what they're doing here, but for ROTM, it's going to be Lux as the support, so definitely need to come out with a big lead in this bot side. I'm assuming this Lux is going to go support, but could be flex mid, depending on what comes out.
Volibear gives you a little bit of flex opportunities as well. He's pretty good into the Hecarim in general, so more than likely I think that's a jungle matchup, but I've seen weirder things.
Yeah, also gives you some dive threat, and Zyra going to be the answer.
The El Clasico. All right, we Medio C9 Season 3, we're going Ashe, Zyra, Hecarim. The only difference is we could have Abduct Zac as the jungler then, or Nasus, but we're going Hecarim. Fair enough.
And Classic just continuing with these mid-roll mid bans onto the Wing Nation. Gonna ban out the Vel'Koz this game. That does mean that Gangplank or Swain is going to get through. I'm going to guess that Classic probably bans away the Swain. I would not want to see Winged on that, but we'll have to see what comes through here. Darius going to be the ban for RTM.
Do you remember how nonsense Zaxxol ult was?
What? Oh, you're talking about with the mini rework before they reverted it back to its normal thing?
No,
where,
when he was released.
Oh. No, I thought it was the same as what he has now.
No, so you hit R and you turned into a puddle, and then anybody that was on top of you, you absorbed into a bubble, and you could just abduct them back into your team.
No. See, originally he had what his ult is now, and then they did a mini rework, right?
Oh, the mini rework was the scoop?
The mini rework was the scoop, and then they reverted it again. Okay. I'm pretty sure that's how it worked. I'm pretty sure.
Either way, that ult was wild. I don't know why that was allowed. Ornn pairs well with this. This is just a disgusting draft from Classic Esports thus far, if that's locked in. If it's not, I mean, it's still pretty good. Like, honestly, you give me those 3 champs, and I'm like, yeah, they did it. They picked champions. Yeah, there we go, Ornn.
Yeah. Nice blind. I will say, with how Classic Esports top has played in the last 2 games, on the carry into carry matchup into Toe Knuckles, I think he's done a really good job. So this kind of gives them like maybe not as big of a slow advantage that they can convert later in the game, but the Ornn always just a solid blind pick. You're going to have the engage, you're going to have the gold scaling, and Cho'Gath going to be the answer for RTM.
Cho'Gath is good in the 1v1 against Ornn, but you don't have that same effectiveness in the team fights. I'm very curious what ties this draft together for RTM.
Yeah, and that is going to be the winged pick here. Swain notably is up, but there's quite a bit of range for Classic Esports, so...
Yeah, I don't think Swain is the pick here.
Yeah. We'll see.
All right.
There it is.
Well,
I mean, it is a strong champ for sure. We'll have to see what's answered in the mid lane here, and I don't think it's too bad of a blind.
Yeah, I feel like it's really hard to grab Ashe and Zyra or ever get them into your range. So all you're doing is sucking off Hecarim and Ornn, which is good, but I don't know that that's what you need to do with the comp. And this Syndra isn't a great matchup into Swain, but it's going to be locked in for Banakali, and after game number 1, why not? Sure.
Yeah, and I don't think it'll be too bad. You do have the nice stun and knockback that can kind of help you get away from that Swain ult and get the sucky gets away from you so that it'll go away ideally. So and just really nice follow-up also to be able to kind of burst whatever targets the Hecarim and Ornn are engaging on. So I don't really mind it. RTM is really going to have to convert this bot lane advantage. We're going to see Death Lotus on a completely different playstyle in this game 3 on the Lux, so it's going to have to really be effective with the bindings and come out ahead with a lead. So we'll have to see if Hecarim decides to punish that as well. Notably, Caitlyn Lux shove in quite a bit, so definitely want to get those wards out early and protect themselves against any ganks.
Well, here we go. Game number 3. Do or die time now for Return to the Middle Sticks. Match point for Classic Esports. I did something weird to the client. Hold on. We are not quite aligned. There we go. I somehow slid the client down.
Fixed it. Alrighty. I mean, Classic Esports comp just looks like something you'd see in the days of old with the LCS, or maybe not being the exception there, but still you're going to see that tank top laner come through. So I'm interested to see how the tank versus tank matchup changes things for RTM in the top lane. I think Toe Knuckles has really struggled in these first 2 games against Densoft in the carry versus carry matchups. Admittedly has been blinding into those, so kind of expected, but I think it could potentially be something that RTM comes out with an advantage in. especially because Cho'Gath's really good into that Ornn 1v1. And if Cho'Gath gets rolling, that R is really, really strong. Being able to just eat like a Zyra or an Ashe, basically from half or full health. So
yeah, it just, how do you get onto any of them as Cho'Gath?
Yeah, that is the thing. It's going to be difficult to get through the front line, get through the slows, get through all the stuns and that they have. So it's gonna be interesting to see how Toe Knuckles manages to do that. But yeah, again, all eyes are going to be on the RTM bot lane in this in the early stages of this game.
Well, 3 minutes left. Well, 4 minutes left, I guess. We have the minute of waiting before the 3-minute wait. Yeah. I don't know. It's been a rough 2 games if you're a Return of the Middlesticks fan, but we'll see if this is the start of the comeback now. I know we're not as keen on their draft here, but you got the Caitlyn that you've been hankering after, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, Kate's in a really good spot. I think if they do get rolling, this could just be a very quick win for RTM. Caitlyn Lux is a really, really good combo, and definitely can punish people aren't used to playing against it. So if it gets rolling, I think RTM could be in a good spot. Even if they come out with just like a 1 or 2 kill lead, I think that will really help them as things continue on here into the mid to late game.
But yeah, I don't know. I just feel like it's a lot of pressure now on Magic Claps maybe to perform when we haven't seen him the first 2 games really be in that the spotlight.
Yeah, that's for sure. I think Classic Esports has been using the Pro Comps partnership well. Has definitely gotten out to some good drafting in these first 2 games, or really in all 3 games. I think they've come out with a draft lead. So that being said, anything can definitely happen. And RTM gonna have to convert on the bot side.
Yeah, I don't know that I have too much more to talk about here. I don't know. I'm really tired. And we're only in game 3 potentially. Let's go. Best of 5s are sure a thing.
Yeah, it was kind of a later start than I was expecting for best of 5. I'm used to it being like a 6 central start for best of 5, but yeah, definitely a little bit earlier than I know the RTM games have been starting, because they've usually been at 8 central. So
yeah, this is, I guess, the default time for best of 5s for Metashift. Like I said, normally, or like you said, I guess, normally they start about an hour early for best of 5s compared to normal, but this is just the normal time to start games. So, here we are. To be fair, I also don't know that anybody could get here earlier for RTM. So
no, I understand it. It's just, yeah.
It's a rough one for me specifically.
Yeah, still on the early morning grind. So I got a question for you. When do you think NA's first win will come? Will it come tomorrow? Do you think it'll be later?
So tomorrow's C9's group, right?
Yep, Group A plays all tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah, tomorrow.
So no win tomorrow. They're out. They're 0-3. When does 100 Thieves play?
100 Thieves plays. They're Group D, so they would play
Sunday
On Sunday, yes. Sunday.
Okay. Sunday, whenever they play CTPC
Flying Oyster.
I think that's the only win that NA gets at Worlds in the group stage.
Yeah. I mean, I'm kind of inclined to agree. I honestly don't think like EG's played that bad. I think they're just in a really tough group. Like they've put up some okay games. It's just like both C9 and EG tough group.
So me big FlyQuest fan. It's like when FlyQuest was at Worlds. Like the fact that they went 3-3 in the group that they were in, I thought was a huge success for FlyQuest. And if EG can pull out 1 or 2 wins in that group, like that should be just like we give them some claps for that. Like they did well.
For sure.
If they can just get 1 or 2 wins, because realistically, that's like 2 of the tournament favorites, and then G2, who's just fucking had their number. I don't know what it is about that matchup, but like, they just cannot beat G2. Sometimes it'd be like that. There's just a team that counters you, and you just kind of have to give it to them. Like,
and I mean, I think especially with like,
we got an invade.
ADC. I like this from RTM.
They were really holding on to that CC for Flay, but he had the long... they're going to really go for it. The flash Q into the rupture, into the pull. The cleanse is there from Flay, but it's first blood for Scrams.
I really like this invade from RTM. You know,
you're on... Oh, no. Does he
I don't know if he's dead. He should get out.
Okay.
But his teammate's still here to back him up, so...
Yeah, the issue is now, do you get back to lane a little too late? Because... Is Toad just gonna walk all the way up there? What a madman! All right, he's huffing it back to top lane, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, you know TP, but yeah, I think I really like the call there from RTM. They definitely had enough CC to do that invade, and you know you're on that game point, so like you might as well try to give yourself an early advantage and find the kill there. And notably, Flay cleanse and flash blown, which is really big in this lane, because that means a binding at level 2 could just mean death.
That Gromp just hated Flay. Just we didn't want to let him go.
Yeah.
Toe started Q, so he can't really. Yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't win the trades really till he's getting that E, but I don't think he actually ended up losing any XP, which is the bright side, but this Hecarim pathing away is going to be very, very scary for the bot lane of classic esports, especially with the flash blown.
Yeah, and they know where Wolf started because he cleared those wards with his sweeper after walking back in there, so they got the little extra experience from this from the wards, but you know, at least you still know where Wolf is. Yeah, look at that. Oh, that's not the right color ping. Sorry, I was like, man, our team knows exactly where he is, but that's a that's a red ping on top of the jungler for some reason. Yeah, so Ornn passive damage. It's pretty good.
Yeah, definitely very good. Toe Knuckles will be able to heal up a little bit with the Cho'Gath passive into this big wave, but yeah, Densoft just kind of picking up where he left off, bullying Toe Knuckles more in this lane, and doing a good job here so far in the early game.
Which is not how this lane is supposed to go. This is a Cho'Gath favorite matchup pretty heavily, honestly. Like throughout most stages of the game, assuming you don't fall too far behind. Like you can get caught a little bit by the burst damage if you're not careful, but Cho'Gath just wins extended trades. He wins short trades, and your ult just kind of really ruins Ornn's day. So it's usually a good matchup for Cho. Sorry.
No, it definitely is. I think the one point is like those first couple levels, because I think Ornn, especially because he got to the lane early and was able to hit the level advantages first, was actually in a good spot to get some good trades here. But yeah, notably all of that damage is kind of getting taken away by Cho'Gath's passive, and Densoft in a rough spot here. Missing the E, but
yeah, he's still pretty high on health, just a little low on mana, so I don't think we're really gonna see too many shenanigans. What I think is weird is we don't see either top laner really playing around their grasp cooldown. They're just kind of bopping each other on their ability cooldowns with no regard for whether they have grasp up or not.
Yeah, and this is good. I think just seeing the pings on the bot side here, Magic Collapse and Death Lotus very aware that Hecarim could be bot side and play some good vision for themselves. But I really like this sneaky angle that Hecarim's going to look for. I don't think it's going to pan out for him, but
yeah, if he had run straight in, I think he could maybe find something. But yeah, just the amount of ward coverage that they have is very good for Magic Collapse and Death Lotus.
the wet noodle fight in top lane. We have to keep watching that as the rest of the things happen across the map. But notably, Magic Collapse and Death Lotus, even with the wave, was pushing out, able to evade that gank, which is really good. And I don't think they're going to actually be able to punish that Flareon flash being down because it's going to come up right here, but did a good job of not dying to the Hecarim gank for sure.
Unless we see a wild engage right now, but we're not going to. They're headed back to base. Ko is trying so desperately to shove this wave into the tower, and Densoft is just keeping it right outside of tower range without letting it crash too far in. So, very funny tank gameplay moments happening.
Yeah. But now off this first back, I think Toe Knuckles is going to be in a lot better spot against the Ornn here.
Yep, everybody
finding some nice ease for sure out of this Syndra.
Yep, really quiet early game, which honestly both comps scale fine, so no one's particularly happy or unhappy about that one. Scrams is going to start up the dragon on his own right now, though, so I have to keep an eye. He even calls in Magic Collapse, which is a decent time investment this early on, and Magic Collapse gets spotted on a ward. It doesn't look like they can really punish, other than maybe Wolf can head up to top lane knowing that he won't get counter ganked, but again, I don't know about diving Cho'Gath at level 6, although he did just eat a minion, so you know that that's on cooldown.
Well, regardless, I think the Hecarim is going to be able to take away these topside camps, at least the Gromp, which is nice recognition that, you know, Volibear's bot side. And they just did that off the vision. They didn't even do that off the dragon going down there. So a nice play there. And I think actually Scrams did a good job of covering his wolf camp, ignoring the red buff that spawned and just going right to his top side to try to delay Wolf from doing that, but he's not going to find much else.
Nice bind from Death Lotus, but they can't really chain anything together the way you'd like to see in this Lux Caitlyn lane.
Yeah, really not finding much out of this combo here, and Flareon even coming out with a little bit of a CS lead so far. Should be evened up by the wave that's crashing in here, but just kind of sleepy early game. Not much going down. RTM notably does take that dragon, which considering how things have gone for themselves or in the last two games, is a really nice pickup.
Yeah, and it was a cloud dragon,
too many.
Which means that your soul isn't a cloud soul, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it'd be a nice change of pace if RTM is able to start stacking some drakes here, and they do have the bot pressure to do that in this game, which is very nice for them. There you go.
Tank
Toe Knuckles.
Gameplay. Alright. Stun from Banakali in mid lane, and yeah, still nothing really happening. Level 6 hit for Wolf. He's hanging around this bottom side. Does have Onslaught of Shadows available. Ish doesn't have the Strangle Thorns, which is the only ult missing. So Flay should just let one rip here. And there it is. And it's first blood. Oh, it's not first blood. It's the second kill of the game. Ish is... Alright, I have Sauron from mid lane from Winged is able to pick up a return kill. And
I see you.
It's 1 for 1, but I mean, 80 carry kill worth a little bit more than the support kill, I guess. And Winged might have found a little bit more. Pops the Demonic Ascension, trying to chase down Banakali, giving him the very slow suck. There's the pop on the Demon Flare. There's nowhere for Banakali to go. It just slowly gets sucked to death. The way we all want to go, really.
Oh my god.
Scrams heads around. Gonna chase Wolf off of his blue camp just because they don't have enough people on that side of the map right now. So Scrams will get to do a little bit of counter jungling, although they have to be careful because now Ish can walk back in, full health, full mana, level 6. This is a weird situation. Scrams just walks the other way around the embankment, looks for an engage onto Wolf. Ace in the hole doesn't not need it actually. Scrams just takes home that kill. Ish is in a little bit of trouble. Now gets stepped onto the trap. Magic claps, using the traps nicely, and it's a double kill for Scrams.
Yeah, there we go. RTM playing around their bot lane priority here, and just the stronger 2v2, able to find up two kills for themselves. And this has just been an RTM sequence here. They've had 1 kill traded back bot side, but Wing picking up 2 kills, and then the fight over the blue buff going RTM's way. And this is just looking like a different RTM team than we've seen in the first 2 games.
Yeah, now for the first time in this series, we get to see ROTM play with a lead. And we'll see if they're able to cash that one in now. It's all the kills on Winged and Scrams.
Ooh.
Knockup going to land onto Toe Knuckles. Densoft is in a little bit of trouble, though. He's got the Nom. Yeah, it just gets the kill. And Wolf, I don't think, hit Cho'Gath. And meanwhile, Banakali finds the kill with the Ignite and the Unleashed Power back the other way. So 1 for 1 cross map? Sure. Why not?
Yep. I also think we might be just slightly desynced again, so...
Okay, well, I'm going to hit plus, and then now I'm at 1050, 1051.
Yeah, we are on again now. I guess it just delays a couple seconds, which is kind of weird, but... yeah, 2 kills traded over there. Densoft trying to help the Hecarim out, but just went in with way too low of a health bar. Can't do that into the Cho'Gath R while that's up, and Toe Knuckles looking completely different in this tank matchup. Also did get to get the counter pick, which is very nice.
Oh, Magic Claps gets beat. Oh no, the Onslaught of Shadows didn't go over the wall. It's a little too fat to get in. And now Ish in a little bit of trouble. Magic Claps able to get off of the Stranglethorns. Wolf still trying to chase him down. That light binding just a little bit wide onto Wolf, but I think it was pretty blind anyway, so good effort anyway. But
yeah, I'm kind of surprised Wolf didn't try to chase that, but maybe he was just worried about where RTM's carries were. But
here, Winged hits the scoop onto Ish, and now pops the Demonic Ascension, just trying to get the damage on through. Ish is down, Flay low, the E doesn't quite connect, uses the heal just for a little bit of movement speed. They need just that last tick of damage, and there it is from the Ace in the hole. Magic Claps picks up the kill, and now Dragon should go the way of Surprise Party.
Yeah, Winged with a very nice roam there. Able to pick up more kills around this bot lane, and even though the Caitlyn Lux has not been the primary beneficiaries of the combo, have picked up some nice assists and been able to help the team out. So RTM doing a good job at playing around this bot lane combo and finding kills for themselves, especially Winged able to pick up a couple in some roams down. Second Drake going over to RTM. I think that it equals the... I think that's more than the Drakes they've taken so far in the series.
Banakali gets hit by a Lux Laser from downtown. And somehow that's just turned into a kill in mid lane. As Scrams picks that one up, Densoft just gonna pop the Hammerblade bouncy time and show Toe Knuckles that he can in fact hit it after the last attempt that he had.
Yeah, Wolf is here, so maybe just trying to set something up for Wolf, but... now without that, it's going to be kind of hard. Scrams here to...
Yeah, now we've got the top jungle 2v2. Scrams uses the ult to jump through. Densoft just trying to turn it back around. Now Wolf is in. No ults available other than Scrams' ult. Now tear through Wolf as Toe Knuckles picks up a kill. Just no Hecarim ult and no Ornn ult meant that the Stormbringer plus the Chomp is enough damage.
Yeah, and Toe Knuckles looking really confident on this Cho'Gath pick. It's already gotten 2 champions onto the stacks. I'm just going to scroll over here and see how many stacks he's already managed to have. So he's gotten 3 minion kills and then 2 of those champion kills. So still going to have a lot of growing to do with 3 of those minion chomps to still go through on the ultimate. But RTM looking really, really good in this game.
Yeah, much different than the first 2. Objective bounties. All right. Huh. Every time those turn on, I'm like, should they really be turning on now?
3K gold. I think they start at 3. if I remember correctly, at 3K.
Interesting. Yeah, well, they're on. Ish is off the Rift. That was a nice looking kill. In comes the Onslaught of Shadows. The Ash ult connects again, but it's not going to lead to another kill. And yeah, I'm not really sure what to analyze here. What do you feel has gone differently for ROTM and Classic by extension this game?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think a really big piece is that Densoft has had a really hard time into the Cho'Gath. I know it's really hard to blind pick, but with how the carry v carry matchups have gone, I really would like to see them try to put more pressure around with just saying, I'm going to blind a carry and we'll see if Toe Knuckles can do anything against that. But besides that, I think RTM has done a really good job playing around their bot side, knowing that their 2v2 is a little bit stronger, and Wing Nation has had some really nice roams to remedy that.
Yep, pull not quite going to matter there. Wolf gets the ace in the hole, just not quite enough damage. They'll get the root back onto Scrams. They'll start slowly chipping through him, but just not the damage right now for Flay and Ish to be able to defend that one. Another turret goes down in that bottom lane, and the lead has extended since the objective bounties have gone on. About 5,000 gold now. 1.5 minutes to go before our first Ocean Dragon spawns as well, and RTM's going to put that on a very early clock for Ocean Soul.
Yeah, that is for sure. Minute here until that Drake, and I don't really think that Classic Esports can take the 5v5 with how things have gone. It's really, really hard to try to engage into this Swain that has got rolling. And so I feel like you kind of want to wait till you're on Soul Point. Maybe you get an Ornn item or something like that to help out by that point, but yeah, not going to be much to find here for Wolf as he just ease away. Don't mind me just taking a look at what camps you're doing, Mr. Scrams. I'll see you in a few minutes.
I do like that both supports this game are going for carry mythics. What's a support anyway?
Definitely makes sense given the champions they're playing, but yeah, always kind of funny to just see those damage items come through for the supports.
This is always the painful part, playing one of those supports, though. You have to get the combined cost on your mythic. Ugh. Oh. Tank gameplay. Very exciting.
we always watch the tank gameplay. The observer's still loving just the two beefy boys slapping each other.
Dragon has spawned. Neither team paying the most attention to it, but we're kind of buzzing around the pit. Scrams not quite able to find the initiation he wanted to onto Wolf, so it's just rest and regroup for now. Winged gets a little damage onto Banakali over the wall. Both top laners, Densoft doesn't quite have his teleport up, but it's just a couple of seconds away from being available, and they could pop in if they wanted to contest, but it looks like it's just the kind of token pressing in from Classic Esports. They're going to go ahead and grab a mid lane tower potentially in exchange. Meanwhile, there's actual action up in the top side now as the ult comes off from Densoft. They'll grab the mid lane tower. Flay has to use his cleanse. Flashes over the wall. Wolf is going to go in and sacrifice himself to save him, maybe? Onslaught of Shadows comes out just to try to escape. Gets the slow. There's a lot of tools used to try to disengage the fight, but Flay dies anyway as Wing takes him down.
Yeah, I don't really mind the call there from Classic Esports trying to trade the dragon for the...
Ish,
yeah.
He's just recalled from here. I'm just gonna show there's some plants.
Yep.
As we
just hiding. But yeah, I think Classic Esports made the right call there, trying to go for that mid lane tower, trying to get an objective bounty for themselves because they knew that they weren't going to fight that Drake. Do get that tower for themselves, end up trading a kill for it, which probably isn't ideal for them, but Ash is getting diminishing returns based on having 3 deaths already, so not the full value of a kill that you'd usually get. So Toe Knuckles chomping away at this tower. performing way better in this tank matchup and has really been the aggressor so far.
Yeah, he do be demolishing towers.
Horn is just having such a rough time. Oh, I don't know. I don't know
Well,
about
and
that
it's
one.
just such a public rough time too, because we never get to pan away from the lane to see what else is happening. But
I think Toe Knuckles.
Toe Knuckles is definitely winning this. I don't know. He can't go underneath the tower though. In comes the knock up, and now we have the junglers both here as well. Scram's gonna walk in, get the stun onto Dead Stop, but he's just the extra man. In comes the supports. It's a 3v3. Light Binding doesn't quite land from Death Lotus, and everything returns as you would expect.
Just everybody matching everywhere. RTM is really just not really. They're just on this 3-minute timer, trying to get this Dragon Soul. If I'm them, I'm just waiting for this 5v5 that should break open the game.
Honestly, if I'm Classic, I probably just FF, go next, and roll it for game 5, but they have much stronger mentals than I do, apparently, as we continue onwards with the 6,000 gold lead for Return of the Middle Sticks.
It's definitely not totally lost for them.
Yeah,
you know, you have the ideas for this fight. We'll see how that turns out. But Orin being able to give your team some extra gold is really nice. But Winged in a good spot here.
I don't know where Banakali thought he went exactly, but
He's not gonna have the ultimate.
Yeah, maybe this is winnable for Banakali. Oh, just gets clipped, and now it definitely is with Wolf here. Get the charge in, get the stun. Do you have the damage?
Nice
It's a good stopwatch from Winged. And now in comes the rest of the squad to help out. The ace in the hole helps get the chunk, and Winged Nation is on a killing spree.
Yeah, Classic Esports. I mean, they're trying to make plays happen. Credit to them. Like, I think they've had some good ideas. Definitely not too bad there, especially with Swain not having the R. But RTM's been doing a good job of just answering wherever they're trying to put pressure, and they're just a little stronger in the 2v2s. So, really good play there from Winged using the stopwatch. Definitely would have been dead without it. And now a minute to go until this pivotal dragon. Notably for RTM, you know, you could look to maybe get something else off this Drake with the push. They don't really care about this dragon that much. I mean, it's nice to get the soul, but you can use that to get advantages elsewhere, where that's tier 2 towers in top, tier 2 towers in mid, or even potentially enough time to do the Baron. But definitely, I think taking the 5v5 with the gold lead that they have is probably the best call.
Has either top laner left the lane the entire time? Have they roamed anywhere? No. We walk back to top lane and we slap each other. That's the top lane.
That's what all Toe Knuckles wants. That much I could tell you. That's for sure.
Well, 30 seconds to go on an Ocean Soul spawn, and yeah, that might decide the game. But we have an ornament, so you got the Forge Fire Crest on Densoft.
Ooh,
so that
goodbye.
feels nice, and you don't have a support now as Ish gets caught by the lightning from Death Lotus, and that'll make it infinitely harder for Classic Esports to contest. They're giving Ocean Soul.
Yeah, I mean, you lost your support. It's not really worth like giving more kills over in a fight that's gonna be really difficult. I mean, I think the only like real argument you can make is Wolf trying to look for a steal.
Ashel, come here, Ashel. He's hovering.
Ooh, it got down to 6. Could have been taken.
Yeah. He had it up. I don't.
Yeah.
Could have thrown it. I don't know. I feel like you might as well, but now Baron on the table for Return of the Middle Sticks. They have.
They're just gonna start it, and I don't really mind it. I mean, you're definitely looking for the turn here, but Ashar coming down, Winged Nation in a tough spot here.
Yeah, Winged is fine so far. He's just tanking on through it, tanking everyone right now, and no real damage to his health bar just yet. He's still half health. He's still sucking on through. It's a double kill for Winged Nation immediately. Cinder gets a tower in the bottom lane, but doesn't even matter. Winged is just ascended demonically. He's
holy.
He's a big boy. That's a triple kill for Wing Nation. He's dominating. Toe Knuckles teleports in just to say, no, Syndra, you can't have our second tower down here. Not going to be able to find that rupture, but the rest of the team heads their way through that mid lane tower. That was basically just solo Wing versus 4. Like
no, I was going to say after he got caught with the Ash arrow, I was like, well, he needs his team to come jump over the wall, but he really did not. He was in a 1v4 there and was able to heal up enough. A really nice time Zonia's for sure, but man, that was showing a lot of how far behind Classic Esports is in this game.
Toe Knuckles is giving Banakali the tank gameplay experience. Oh, no chomp just yet. Oh, he doesn't have it on cooldown. Okay. Used it to eat the Baron.
Used it on the Baron. Yeah. Makes sense. Yeah, this might be the... I feel like after the Swain 1v4, I might be in the FF territory with you now, Maris.
I think at the very least, you have to ban Swain in game number 4.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wormfall and sacrifice though for Flay, so... It's possible. If there were any dragons on the enemy team, he could definitely slay them right now.
Yeah, that's definitely a play that Wing Nation will be clipping from the stream after this game, I'm sure. But yeah, the Ocean Soul too. I mean, that coming in, I think also just helped out a ton on the healing, able to do that 1v4. And how are you going to get through a Swain that's ulting with Ocean Soul? It's really, really difficult.
Yeah, I like
performing super well.
After that, Wolf went and bought Executioner's Calling. Just somebody's got to get the heal debuff. So it's going to be Densoft and Wolf that have it, which I don't know that Winged is attacking Densoft ever, so that one's probably not getting value.
He can actively choose not to, you know. He doesn't have to auto attack him, and then you don't have the debuff. So
yeah, Blade of the Ruin King is finished for Flay. You kind of need it to jump through some of the health that Toe Knuckles and Scrams have. But yeah, not too much left in this game probably. Inhibitor gonna fall. Oh, Magic Labs takes about half of his health. That was just Q from Banakali? QW?
Yeah.
That was a lot of damage from that. Maybe there's
Ocean Drake healing, helping a bit.
Yeah. Ish. Oh, able to get out and just use the Stranglethorns to try to disengage. Scrams very low. In comes the Ram Jam. Hits 3 people. They take down Scrams, but Winged isn't here. Now Winged is here. He's ascended. Banakali picks up another kill as he flashes forward aggressively. Winged is just tearing through though. Flay. They leave their AD carry behind just to die, and now Toe Knuckles has rejoined the fray. They'll find Densoft as well, as Magic Claps is still alive, and these are the only 3 you really need, right?
Yeah, that's for sure. Just the beefy tank and your 2 damage dealers. That's about all you can ask for. Winged came in. We started off with a really good fight there for Classic Esports. I think kind of a desperation play that you want to try to look for. Try to take the 5v4, but as soon as Wing Nation came in on the Swain, did enough to clean up the fight, and I think this is going to be game number 3 in the books.
Yeah, so return to the middle stick, strike back. They're going to get another kill for the road, it looks like. And they'll take game number 3 and counter it back. So 2-1 now for Classic Esports. Still match point, but return to the middle stick's on the board. So we'll be right back with game 4. Unless you have something else you want to say. You're more than welcome to.
We'll be right back with game 4.
Cool. I'm going to go to the bathroom really quick after I run into this game.
Me too.
Alright, welcome back to me. Is Lane here?
I'm here, I'm snorfing some food.
Snorfing some food, excellent. Welcome back to game number 4. Return of the Middle Stick struck back in game 3 to bring us to 2-1. Classic now back on the blue side, which has a 100% win rate. Classic band Silas, Vagar, and Caitlyn once again. Return of the Middle Sticks countered with MF, Olaf, and Akali. First pick Maokai, countered by Trundle and Nami. And then Jinx and Amumu for Classic. And now RotM with presumably an 80 carry pick.
I guess it'll probably be Lucian? Yeah. So, definitely gave themselves another strong bot lane here. It's going to be a lot better than the Jinx Amumu early. The one big upside for Classic is they do get the Maokai pick, which they were banning in the first 3 games, and instead elect to go for the Caitlyn ban, RTM counters with the MF ban, and then they pick up the best remaining, I think, of the Maokai pick. So definitely something that's gonna be pretty good. Trundle, great counter into that, especially because you've also got a Mumu, which is another great ult target. Not at all surprised to see Classic Esports banning away the Swain and RTM banning away the Darius, two picks that the opposing teams have had difficulty dealing with.
And the Yone as well taken out, so they're trying to force the tree to go top. I really don't think Densoft should be playing it. I'm pretty sure this should be a wolf pick.
Yeah, and I think honestly they're also trying to just make sure they can blind effectively here. My guess is they probably look at the Ornn. I would really like to see Toe Knuckles again on that tank setup, but especially because they banned some good counters into it. But Set going to be the pickup, and I don't mind that at all with Maokai and Amumu in the game.
That could be a flex as well. We've seen the Set mid. Who played Set mid at Worlds? It was somebody cool.
Jojo Pune.
It was Jojo that played it? I guess it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Played it into Mad Lion.
That's right. Yeah, I was like, it was in a win though. But yeah, it was during the play-ins. Yeah. God. I hate that champion so fucking much. But there it is in the game. It's a good pick. I still just hate it. Fuck that guy.
It'll definitely be a good pick here. I think I assume it's going to go top lane, but Densoft has shown that he has been the aggressor when it's been the carry versus carry matchups into Toe Knuckles. So like to see him getting back onto that here, especially because you already got the tanks that you need, the engage that you need. So just getting a little bit more damage on the table is going to be really good.
Yep, and the Syndra once again for Banakali. Felt like one of the few. I don't want to say bright spots because he had a rougher game in game 3, but still output quite a bit of damage on the Syndra, so not a terrible pick, and it kind of helps their 4-man squad, give them a little more crowd control and damage.
Yeah, notably.
Oh.
Ooh. Okay. I think this is Twitch mid here for Wing Nation.
Yeah. That sounds absolutely ass into Syndra, but yeah.
I agree. I do not like the pickup here. I think they really could have benefited from I don't know. Like I feel like they need more engage in this comp. So, this can get very snowbally, and you get another good pick with the Nami for sure. But
I think I prefer the Lucian mid with the Twitch bottom.
Yeah.
If I have to play this draft, or Set mid with the Lucian top, like, just I don't think you want the Twitch into the Syndra. I just don't think that's good.
I'm interested to see where these things do end up landing. But I'm gonna assume Wing's gonna take the Twitch mid. But yeah, Lucian I think would definitely benefit better here.
And then you have, I'm assuming it's AD Twitch. I haven't looked into it. I've heard the Twitch mid rumblings as well, but do you know any more? Do you have any more info about it?
I just know that Winged has put some games onto it. That's all I know. So
Okay.
we will see where it ends up as picks come through here.
What food did we grab in between?
I got some rice and dal, so it's pretty good.
Rice and dal?
Dal is like lentil. It's basically it's just made out of lentils with a lot of seasoning. It's kind of soupy. Indian dish.
Okay.
Pretty good.
So it is AP Twitch, by the way. I just looked up Wing's match history.
Interesting.
He played 2 games of it and he's ready to go, I guess.
Yeah, I think the only way that Twitch mid can like work out here is that you're able to clear waves fast enough, and then use that timing to roam to other lanes, help out, especially in these especially in top lane being pretty volatile, but I think can it help out your strong bot side a lot, if you can throw an extra ganker with the invisibility that Twitch has. But I really think RTM's going to struggle in this game with the amount of engage that Classic has, with both the Maokai R and the Amumu R. Having 2 AD carries and a Syndra that can blow either one of them up is going to be a pretty tall task for RTM to overcome in draft here.
All right, so he played AP Twitch into Syndra yesterday.
Interesting.
He went 4-2. They lost the game, but it wasn't the lane that he died in. And the reason they lost the game is because there's a Tristana that went 15-5. So, I don't know. Maybe he feels comfortable. The 1 game sample size maybe it's good. Maybe it's diluting it. You know, that's also a risk you run.
Yep. And thanks Metashift for the raid.
Oh, Pog.
Appreciate it.
How
as
did
always.
it go, Cossacks? Did your friends and also you win the quarterfinal? That's a question.
Important questions
that I have. But yeah, we're headed in almost to game number 4. We still have the 3-minute delay beforehand.
Yeah, I think RTM, their game plan should be playing around the strong bot side. They did a really good job of that last game in game 3, and definitely have the jungle advantage and pushing lane advantage of mid lane to be able to kind of do that again. So if they can find some kills, I think it could be really, really good for them. Just trying to pressuring the spot side, because I think top is gonna sadly be on an island again, and I think Densoft will probably have his way in that matchup, but Set does pretty good into melee champs, so we'll have to see how Toe Knuckles performs on it. A nice 3-0.
Yeah, 3-0 apparently for Cossacks and friends, so they, as he said, gooned squatting it up.
Yep.
What is this draft? I don't know. We got a Tryndamere on one side and we got Twitch mid on the other, so who's really telling? I do really like Ish back on the Amumu, though. That was, as I think you called out, I might have temporarily blacked out while you were talking, but as I think you called out, he had a really good game in game number 2 on it, so I'm excited to see him back on that one. The Lucian Nami, though, is very strong for Magic Labs and Athletics.
Yeah, it definitely gives them something to play around. I think if they don't come out with like a strong bot side lead, and definitely gonna need to pick up like 1 or 2 Drakes here, it's gonna be hard for RTM to compete in this game. But they have the tools to pick up those early Drakes, because they should be shoving this Jinx Amumu in. And we'll have to see how things come to fruition here as we wait out this last few ticks of the spectator delay here.
Yeah, so let me see in chat who you think is going to win. Is it ROTM coming back and taking game number 4, or are Classic Esports going to finish off the upset and finish off the series 3-1? I don't know why I do these things, because usually I don't get any responses in the chat.
We get one.
Oh, we got one. Let's go.
One for RTM. Great.
I do like that Classic almost exclusively banned purple champions. Or like purple presenting champions.
Yeah. I guess Wing needs to stop playing so many purple champs. That's all I'll say. Also, we're saying this as two colorblind people that can't see the blue purple difference, so maybe we're wrong.
I can see blue purple difference.
Really? I really struggle with it sometimes.
It's red green. Just no, they don't exist. Those aren't actually colors, and every other person in the world has been lying to us. I'm pretty sure.
Now I'm curious because I didn't have this, but I saw another colorblind person today on like a TikTok. Does peanut butter does it appear green in quotes to you, or is it just like the matte color that doesn't really exist?
I mean, it's just kind of brown. I don't.
Okay. The TikTok I watched today specifically was like this guy, when he saw peanut butter, it was green, and then
I mean,
somebody like made peanut butter in front of him by crushing nuts, and it was started off brown and then got progressively more green to him as time went on, which
like,
I could understand a little bit.
Yeah, so I mean, the whole thing is the same color as green would be, but like,
right,
it's all just. If I had to describe it in a color, it's brown, but like with something wrong with it, you know.
Yeah, red and green really meld into a brown for me. So
anyway, yeah, now you know. You've been listening to two colorblind people announce which team is the red team over and over again.
I'm just glad they got rid of blue and purple side, because man, my eyes had such a difficult time with that. Also, growing up a K-State versus KU fan, whenever they played basketball and had purple and blue jerseys on, I had no idea who was who. It was rough.
There was an NFL game. I think it was the Jets versus the Bills while they did the color rush jerseys.
Oh yeah.
The Jets were full green and the Bills were full red, and I legitimately couldn't have told them from the field while they were standing still, and then like from each other at all. Like,
wow,
it was just the really absolute worst football game I've ever attempted to watch.
That's hilarious. They need to start putting like colorblind markers on the helmets in post, or like an option enabled colorblind cast or something.
I mean, I don't. Normally you do colored in white, but because it was the special color rush, they had to wear their.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
I also like that some of the color rush jerseys are just white. Like that's, yeah, our color is white this year. we're entirely white.
Yep.
Yeah, if you were curious about if I was lying about the AP Twitch, there it is. He's got a Dorn's ring. We did it.
We did it, guys.
Scrams is already here, level 2.
I like
Hits
this.
the pillar. Yeah, Densoft doesn't have flash. He's only got Ghost, so gets slowed up pretty hard. Scrams just trying to get the chomp down. Do they have anything left in the tank? The flash chomp? Nope. So just the Ghost off of Densoft.
Yeah, I mean, I like the look there. They're not going to be able to punish the Trundamere post 6, really, so trying to get that Ghost out early, take away some of this kill pressure that Densoft would have early with the Ignite. I think it was a really, really nice play there. I think Scrams could have probably saved his flash, but he's going to walk in here. Oh, no.
Yeah, he's a little overextended, and by a little, I mean a lot overextended, looking for a trade kill on RPZ Wolf, but it's just not going to be there. And it's first blood to Densoft off of... I'm not really sure why Scrams went in there, but he did, for sure. Magic Collapse is low, gets exhausted. Ish trying to chase him down, doesn't have the second bandage toss, or didn't quite want to use it there.
Yeah, and sadly, Scrams immediately punished for blowing that flash, trying to chase a kill that he wasn't going to get. I mean, if you have the flash there, I don't think I'd totally mind trying to invade there, especially if Set's able to actually push in. But yeah, was not able to pick anything up and is now set behind.
I'm just curious what he saw that made him want to go for the invade there, because that camp is like always cleared, or at least should always be cleared. Toe Knuckles is in a lot of trouble. There's 2 crits in a row from Densoft on like 10%. This is why I hate Tryndamere. If it were, it, if it were like, every X number of autos or whatever, I wouldn't mind
you could
it.
play around it.
But the fact that it's just RNG simulator, whether you're gonna die or not, just it's the same issue I had with when Aphelios was released and no one understood how he worked. Like, I walk in, he has guns. I don't know if he's gonna kill me or I'm gonna kill him, but he has guns. Now I have a better idea, but like before it was like, oh, that's a turret. Oh, I'm dead. Winged he's got flash, but he's really holding on to that. Just takes the Q, and that's gonna be enough. So I guess rightly hold on to his flash in that situation, as he's zips
yeah. And up a little bit of CS here on the Syndra, so doing a good job. Trades have been going pretty well in the 1v1. But yeah, I think talking more about the Tryndamere, I think I saw there was a tweet from like a high elo player, and he was like, exclusive interview.
Why is he here? He's got the Winged. Ignite. Winged gets the Contaminate. It's not quite going to be enough damage. We're watching him really closely. I was really worried the minions were going to somehow do maybe they somehow Tryndamere crit and just pop him, but...
Yeah, as I was saying, the Tryndamere, he got a high elo player was like exclusive interview with Tryndamere one trick, and it was just a chat of him saying like, crits aren't skill expression early. And he's like, yeah, I know. That's what I play for every game. The 30% chance at like level 2 when I'm fully stacked. It's like, okay, not much brain power needed there.
Yeah, I famously am Tryndamere is my least favorite champion in the entire game. Will not be displaced by anyone. Second is Nasus, third is probably Yuumi, but yeah.
Yeah, I see the scaling hard counterplay champs you are not enjoying.
Well, it's the why are they so strong early when they're the scaling hard late game champions? Like, why can I just lose lane at level 2 because Tryndamere rolled dice well? Why can Nasus buy a Sheen and become the entire strongest champion in the entire game? It's not as bad now. It used to be worse for Nasus, but I won't get that one. That was a good trade.
Interesting by Densoft to use the Q there.
He's trying to manage his health compared to his rage, which is kind of actually an interesting little mini game, because Toe Knuckles just gets to stand there and regen with his passive. So you have to manage whether you want to be aggressive and go for the trades. Like, maybe this is the big brain Tryndamere time, if that ever existed.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's too bad of a look here.
Excuse me, sorry. Yeah, Bandage Shot's going to land on a Magic Lapse. He's onto the Flame Choppers, still looking for the trade damage, but the Exhaust is doing a lot of work right now. Strams is here, just going to zip on in, hits the pillar, force the flash out of Ish. So you use Exhaust Heal in exchange for Exhaust and support flash. Winged is going to have to stealth on out of this situation, but Wolf is still here. Hits him with the Twisted Advance and the Bramble Smash. He's still got about 400 health as they're looking for Wolf, but he really can't stand and trade any damage, and can't quite get away from the Bramble Smash of Wolf. So kill for the Maokai, and now Scram's looking for Wolf, but there's just not quite enough damage here.
Yeah,
I also like this visual bug. Anytime anyone is slowed or sped up, they just get completely ghosted in Spectator. I don't know if you've noticed like throughout these games.
I have not noticed that about the slow. I'm gonna have to look out for that now.
Maybe it's just mine. My
I mean, I haven't been looking for it, but that's funny.
They just completely turn blue and look like they're ghost, like they're popping ghost, even though it's just like I have a 20% movement speed buff. Scrams is just doing dragon.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. Well, there you go. I will say, not really has come out of this bot lane for RTM, but you're gonna get the Drake here. Scrams is a little bit behind the Maokai and XP and this certainly isn't going to help, but it's going to help the team out getting that first Drake, and I think that's going to be pretty important for them as they go forward. Wolf trying to answer on the other side with the Rift Herald, and that could be a really nice take for the team there.
Make sure you hit plus, because I just did, and I'm like 2 seconds forward. So.
Perfect.
Yeah, Scores also hasn't been back to and then it paused for a second. I love this.
904, 905, 06, 07.
Yeah.
Cool.
Pretty much. I might be like a split second behind, but whatever. It was close enough. Scrim still hasn't been back to base either, so he's going to lose even more tempo, which is a fake concept, but he's going to lose more tempo while he does that.
Oh, it's so confusing because he doesn't have his jungle item anymore, and it's just like
he's
my
just
brain.
Got a health pot.
Yeah, just a health pot. This is a really interesting gank with no items.
Yeah, he's still looking for it. Banakali has unleashed power, but doesn't have really anything else. That's... Oh, of course.
Is that... Nobody paused it yet.
I think they're trying to disengage top lane. Yeah, there it is. Of course. Game 4, we have a pause for the first time. Everyone can see this masterfully crafted pause screen.
Chasing the ping pong ball.
He's really going for it. Oh my god.
Oh yeah. Also, I don't know why, but the fact that it has the watermark gifsboom.net makes it like just a little bit better. It's really funny.
Yeah, I've thought about removing some of the watermarks or like finding gifs that don't have watermarks, and
it adds to like the black market, like found these in the back of the restaurant type of.
Yeah. Well, that and the fact that if I blew it up much larger, you'd see how pixelated it is.
Right.
So I don't know. Eventually we'll get graphics, but not today. Ain't nobody got time for that. They're readying up in the chat, so it's probably not too much longer.
Yep. Although, thankfully, not a super long pause, hopefully.
Although there's really no telling what the difference is between the chat and like when the actual replay game starts again. This is all a very confusing concept, but
that is for sure.
Yeah, I really like this moment right now. You can't see on screen. Okay, now it's on screen. The mid laners in the 80s have exactly the same amount of farm as each other, to be clear. Oh, he tried to flash the stun, but wasn't quite successful with it. I like the look, but it wasn't quite there.
Yeah, I don't think the play works out even then, because Banakali still has the flash, but here's going to be the Lucian Nami combo.
And
right in the middle of the
pause. Let's go. So the bubble lands onto Ish, and we're going to find out if he lives or dies. Here we go. The flash for Magic Claps, and he dies, as it turns out. The kill for the bottom lane of Return of the Middle sticks. And they're on the board.
Yeah.
Still down 1,500 gold, which is a lot of gold considering the pretty much nothing that's happened in this game so far.
Yep. I'm agreeing with that. I think... I think a lot of it comes down to probably jungle lead, but man, this is a nice find here.
Yeah, Wolf with a nice flank with that ultimate, and they're going to hand the kill over to Flay. Why not? Get the flash out of Death Lotus. Yeah, somehow is able to sneak in there as a big old tree. Uses his grasping roots, Nature's Advance, something like that.
Nature's Grasp.
Nature's Grasp, yeah. I just mixed the two together.
Yeah, that is kind of the nice thing about the new Maokai is that, or I guess the slightly reworked Maokai, his ult travels so much faster that you can just kind of press it out of vision, and you'll hit your target by the time that you're there, and makes for pretty effective ganks there.
Yeah, Ish and Wolf around the mid lane looking for Winged. He's got the stealth away, and they probably won't be able to track him down now.
Yeah.
Does mean that Scrims has to give up that crab, which, as we've discussed, some of the extra gold in the jungle is maybe a little wanting right now.
That's for sure. I think Toe Knuckles, I think overall has performed a lot better on the set pick than a lot of the other carry versus carry matchups we've seen. I think it's not like too much has happened in the top lane, but performing pretty decently. I mean the kill, but
yeah, I was gonna say the first two games though we saw pretty much nothing happen in the top lane, and it just ballooned into 30 and 40 CS leads that then ballooned into Densoft running rampant over the game in the mid to late, which he's got a little lead, but it's not as big as we saw in the first couple of games. And Toe Knuckles is standing strong in some of these trades, but in comes the Nature's Grasp to mid lane and roots up Winged. The Unleashed Power is doing surprisingly little damage, I think. He's almost able to trade that one back, which is a little surprising, but they eventually finish that one off with the Bramble Smash of Wolf, and he's 2-0-2. It's just the items, I think. It's the real item trough right now for Banakali with just the Amp Tome plus Blasting Wand, but now finishes up the Ludens. If he'd had that, I'm pretty sure Wing just dies to the combo.
Yeah, and I think that play right there kind of epitomizes where the weaknesses are in RTM's comp. Like, what do you do as a Twitch in that situation? It is so impossible to avoid that CC, and just a really easy gank setup. And that's something that they could do every single time Wolf's ult is up, and it's not really that long of a cooldown for Maokai, so I could definitely look to re-gank that.
Yeah, and already we've seen it bottom, we've seen it mid. Now maybe a little opportunity for ROTM as they steal the stats away from Wolf, force some flashes away. Ish has to flash as well. Banakali is here, but not able to really find an angle. It's 4v4, kind of herded into this bottom corridor. There's a Cloud Dragon up currently that both teams are eyeing. Wolf is probably waiting out his ult. It's I had to guess like 10 seconds away, but now he gets caught a little bit. Has to go in with the Twisted Advance. Big Curse of the Sad Mummy. The ult doesn't quite finish anyone off, and now Banakali from the side. And classic esports just running over the game. Death Lotus falls, and Flay picks up 2 kills during that fight, now tracing down Scrams as well. They lose Wolf, but that was a really good fight for Classic.
Yeah, really nice find there. And a play that looked really good at the start for RTM with Maokai getting cut off.
Oh, okay, he's got just enough healing, but Densoft is maybe here to hurt him back in.
Yeah.
Just trying to give it over to Akali, but picks up the assist anyway on the Tryndamere. And Dragon should eventually go over to Classic, you would imagine.
Yeah, and that's just so rough for RTM there. I mean, I think Ish had a really, really nice re-engage after Maokai getting caught, realizing they could front to back that team fight really perfectly, and the Jinx just kind of running wild, able to hit all the targets grouped up on the attempted Maokai kill.
Oh, Toe gonna go ahead and grab Banakali in with the Showstopper. Winged, looking for anything that he can, but there's just nothing there, and in comes the Nature's Grasp back the other.
That's so funny.
Oh my god. I love Wolf. I'm sorry.
That's so funny.
That was too good. Winged is trying his best. He does get the shutdown onto Flay.
Yeah, I have to say the Syndra, I feel like, has been really good into the Twitch, able to use her E to get Twitch away whenever it's been in a rough spot or this has come out of stealth. So not really finding the power that was necessary there to kind of dominate the lane and kind of offset these draft disadvantages. But Tryndamere gonna crack this tower for Toe Knuckles going down to try to help out Winged in this mid lane.
I'm still dying over that ult.
It's so
I don't
funny.
know if it's just too late or that was legitimately just
the
funniest thing I've ever seen. But
just stand there after the Twisted Advance.
Just thumbs up, walk away. My job was done. I did it. Yeah, Densoft finishes up a Kraken Slayer plus another recurve bow, headed for the Blade of the Ruined King. You would imagine second. I guess it could be something else. I don't know what it could be. It'd have to be Rage Blade, right? That's the only other thing that builds out of it. So it's probably Blade of the Ruined King.
Well, Nashor's too.
Yeah, absolutely. Nashor's
for sure. Yep. AP Tryndamere. Gotta spin.
Yeah.
Yep.
I hate when that is even remotely viable. That's even almost worse than AD Tryndamere.
Earth is played right now, so it's your time.
Is this my Earth soapbox time? Fuck Earth. It is the worst
Yeah,
game mode that they ever come out with. I miss Nexus Blitz like I miss, anything else. Give me Nexus Blitz. Give me Twisted Tree Line. Please stop bringing back Earth and One for All. I'm tired of them. Winged is going to find a shutdown in the alcove. Not quite enough alcove gaming there from Banakali. Meanwhile, in the top lane, Densoft is doing Tryndamere. There he goes. Winged is very dead, and they're going to give that kill over to Flay. That was good trigger discipline from Ish and Wolf to be able to hand that one over to Flay. Had to wait out that auto attack. Magic Collapse and Death Lotus are going to grab the tower in mid lane, which turns off objective bounties.
Surprisingly.
Yeah, it's still a 4,000 gold lead for Classic, and Densoft just zips in, poultry shots at Collapse, and then leaves.
A little spooky seeing that Tryndamere run at you, but too close to the turrets for.
It's just the Giga Chad meme. Refuses. Yeah. Poultry shouts, refuses to explain, leaves. All right.
Yeah, the follow-up joke would have been him ghosting, Eing in, and then just standing there and taunting after he realized he couldn't do anything. Yeah. But winged.
A wing?
This is where it can be good.
Flay should be fine because Wing walked into the Flame Chomper. All right.
Also, no R for Wing meant that they lived, but that was pretty close. I think that's like the best situation you can hope for.
Yeah, and I mean
he
didn't expend anything, so like that's a free trip back to base for Flay. There's still a minute to go on a Hextech Dragon, I'm assuming? I'm not really sure. Culling coming on through. The Rift Herald dropped as well. Scrams just trying to beat a tree down with a stick. That doesn't work super well usually. They get the charge in with Sheila. Scrams is sticking around here. This is the tank v tank gameplay that we have come to expect on the stream. In comes the flash from Ish, though. Gets the Curse of the Sad Mummy onto Magic Collapse, and Death Lotus trying to kite back away. Densoft is here to finish off one. They'll finish off the Bramble Smash onto Magic Collapse as well. Wing tries to open up. He's going to get Banakali on the burn. In comes Toe Knuckles, but he just doesn't have a whole lot left in the tank. Actually, that was a pretty good W, but it's not quite enough as Flay picks up the triple kill for Classic Esports, and that'll be Dragon number 2 in their pocket.
Yeah, you just see just how much space this Maokai is creating with the R, with the Twisted Advance, just able to do so much to disrupt the RTM team. And this Jinx is absolutely rolling. You never want to see a 7-1 Jinx at 20 minutes. So off to the races here for Classic Esports, up 6K, and this is looking very doomed for RTM.
Well, don't worry. You know those objective bounties we turned off a minute 30 ago? Well, they're coming back on. We got you.
We got you guys. Yeah. Really rough here for RTM. Ways you can come back. I think you can no longer 5v5 fight. I mean, you were going to have hard times earlier, but you can definitely not look for it now. So the biggest thing you can do is kind of try to roam, I think, this Twitch around. Maybe even with the Nami, I say you kind of give up the Lucian and give the Twitch-empowered slows and try to find kills in isolation against these side lanes. But, yeah.
Already an example of how easily that is punished, though, as Wolf finds him with the Nature's Grasp and just finishes him off with the auto attack because Banakali didn't have the wherewithal to get the full execution. Ugh, mid laners. Yeah, Magic Collapse is maybe in a little bit of trouble as well. You just can't quite find the bandage toss. Oh, well, we're still going. That was one auto onto Death Lotus. Completely fair amount of damage for that one auto to do. Magic Collapse.
Wolf just standing there. This Maokai pick has been so Chad.
Yeah,
Oh my god.
oh, Scrams couldn't even get his ult off. Toe Knuckles just able to take Densoft out of the fight. He doesn't win this 1v1 because, unfortunately, Densoft is too angry to die as Flay picks up his 8th kill in the game. Death Lotus, oh, the flash in
Oh
from Flay, the
no.
double kill. He finds the
Oh
triple
boy.
as well. Flayed on Jinx has picked up 10, and they'll get this mid tower. Winged has a crown of the Shattered Queen. I think that's the correct name of it.
Yeah. I honestly, for how this game's gone, I don't know how I feel about that item, but it definitely makes it a lot harder to kill with like just one CDC or something. But yeah, I mean, 10-1 Jinx. What can you really say? Wing's gonna try to find something here.
You baited me. I thought he was going to try to find something there. He just threw a
I
poison
really did
cask at
too,
it.
but
That was
yeah,
just Twitch and TFT. You can't fool me.
didn't want to get E'd back again, as we've seen so many times this game.
Well, as has been pointed out in the in-game chat, there's a dragon spawning in 2:30. I don't think that ROTM want to contest that one. I think you give that one up to Classic, and you look for the next one after that. And hopefully you don't give up Baron in the process.
Yeah, I mean, it's so hard for RTM to find a play here. I think maybe you could trade this dragon to like 3 or 4 man group on top, try to get the Trendemir kill and maybe an objective bounty in that top lane tower. There is a big gold, a big bounty on Trendemir's head here, so that does not do damage to monsters.
Yeah, well, it also only has like a 10-second cooldown, so it's an exaggeration. Ooh. It's like 30 or 40. Magic Claps has a 36-second cooldown where he'll be in the Death Chamber. Oh, that was a big W.
If only it mattered, but the Bork is going to heal up.
Yeah.
But a lot of damage coming there from the set shield.
Yeah, that was kind of an attempted engage from Return to the Middle Sticks, and instead it's probably going to cost Scrams his life as he gets Bramble smashed back in. Flay is legendary. They do pick up the kill on Wolf, so it's not for nothing, I guess. But both junglers dead for 30 seconds. Magic Clap's able to rejoin now, and we'll see how long he's able to last to the brunt of Cinder and Jinx.
Yeah, I definitely think Death Lotus on the Nami needs to play around your one strong champion in Winged here. But Toe Knuckles is going to be in a rough spot. Maybe he can outlast with the R, but nope.
That was kind of a disgusting immediate crit out of the ult.
This is a big gold shutdown here. I think Wing's going to find it.
He's very fast. Yeah, not quite fast enough to evade the stealthy rat. Banakali just finds Death Lotus in the jungle. Not really sure. Dragon's gonna go over to Classic though.
Yep.
Winged has 6 out of 7 kills. That's 83%, I think. Boy.
Goodness.
Is that 83? I don't know how to do math.
83%.
I'll get the calculator out. 85.7%.
Yeah.
Right.
So you do like, I think each seventh is like 14%.
14%.
So.
Yeah.
Yep.
Who's doing that math on stream? I should, for sure. Flash away from Eesh, away from Scrams. Sometimes you get a little too hyphy with the Hexgate. Banakali's still looking for Winged. The Nature's Grasp is just going to run out before it catches the rat, but Scrams on the other side, not going to be able to find too much. Toe Knuckles finds the face breaker. Does he have the damage? In comes the W. It's quite a bit of damage onto Densoft, but immediately dies as soon as he lands off of the showstopper. Death Lotus trying to kite back away, and he'll eventually not fall. Magic Claps flashes in, gets the shutdown onto the Syndra. Now trying to get out the other side, but
oh my gosh,
there's just nowhere for him to go. The rocket's just following him down. He lived somehow, but this 4-man squad is pretty healthy still for Classic Esports, and they'll take this tower. Maybe the next one as well.
Yeah, Winged, I think, actually ended up dying off screen to the Syndra, so it's not really a fight that you want to take, because Winged is the only damage hope, really, for
the Scrams flank?
RotM. Twisted Advance going to shut that down real quick.
Nature's Grasp.
Nature's Grasp, that's right.
Twisted Advance is the W. Yep.
Yep.
It's my entire job to correct you on ability.
Thank you very much.
Teleport coming in from Banakali. Look at this flank that Densoft has, by the way. Oh my god, that's so much damage over the wall onto Magic Claps. Banakali's in maybe a little bit of a soft spot there. Now caught on top of the poison field. Wolf going to fall to the Contaminate. Banakali somehow didn't have any poison ticks on her at the time. So able to stay alive. And Densoft has his sick flank, but he's been spotted out by the rest of RotM and getting chased through the jungle. The corollary to don't chase Singed is I'm pretty sure don't chase Tryndamere, but in comes Densoft to just try to fight this. Oh,
you didn't press the R.
He missed R. He took a lot of damage very quickly, but yeah.
Yeah. I think he definitely at least trades 1 for 1 there.
We have the only 2 champions in the game that can build Navori Quick Blades. And they're both in this game, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's nice.
I couldn't tell you what those build out of. I can only vaguely tell you what they do, but they're in this game. Are they getting removed in preseason? Is that one of the items, or they keep?
It does seem like an item that should be, but I don't think I saw it in the patch notes. It was just like a bunch of tank items, and then change back to like a mage item or something.
I need like the. So like Lucian and Tryndamere are the only 2 that you should realistically build it on ever, and Lucian even is like, eh. Yeah. What are some like? I need chat to help me out. It's getting reworked. Okay, because yeah, they're bringing back Shojin, which is the same thing.
That's right.
I need some only slightly troll champs to build Navori Quick Blades on.
Yeah, what else would you do? You sometimes build it on Gangplank, right?
Ooh, that sounds only slightly troll. Yeah, I'm on board with that. Zaya, okay. I just think it's a cool name for an item, so you gotta build it, right? It's like when Ionic Spark was an item. That was my jam, mostly because the little lightning effect was really cool, not because it was a good item. So I just played Shen for a while because it was like slightly viable on him. Yeah, Ret has a hat, which is kind of neat, so he's got some damage. So do have to watch out for Winged, who downgrade now 70% of the kills because Magic Claps had to flash in and get 2.
Yeah. No Knuckles at least has gotten the. Oh,
that's impressive. He's just like aggressively hex skating directly into the face of Wolf, and there's really nothing for him here, but he is quite tanky. Showing off some of those tank stats. Knuckles underneath the tower. Densoft will eventually have to use that ult while he dives.
Goodbye, Winged.
Winged is just dead over the wall, but Magic Claps picks up another kill just to ruin Winged's kill participation. Knocked back onto Scrams, but you could see the idea, but it just wasn't quite there. Knuckles died in top lane, by the way. Densoft got away with it, as he do on Tryndamere.
Yeah, I think if Winged is maybe in a slightly better position there, he's able to do something, but Scrams just looked a little disconnected from the team. Kind of went in by himself there and maybe forced his teammates to follow
bubble?
up.
Banakali low, one more auto!
Yep.
Yeah, Magic Claps finishes it off. Densoft is just doing the Tryndamere thing, though. He's taking down the inhibitor. And forcing everybody to go up and answer him while other stuff is going on. It's a Hextech soul grab for Classic Esports, and they're not going to stay and finish off that tower. I think Flay just needed 1 or 2 more shots into it, but... Why are we watching him? Is something about to happen?
No one else is fighting.
Okay. Well, they were shooting the minions. Like, usually it shows this rather than somebody recalling in a bush, but...
Don't ask me.
It's... Well, clearly you coded Twitch, right? So therefore you coded...
Sorry, I can only talk about the mid lane, yeah.
Game's still going on, which is maybe the only positive thing you can say for Return to the Middle Sticks right now. Toe Knuckles will not be going on for much longer. I don't know about that ult. I feel like you try to take him out rather than in, if you're looking to live. Maybe you just wanted the glorious death of combat.
Ooh, did they try this mid lane pick? I feel like this is an okay look here for RTM.
Yeah, Scrams hits the pillar, winged, has the poison cast back behind, but Manacali just walking forward looking for Magic Labs.
And now they might actually be able to fight this.
Yeah, Flay, Densoft, and Wolf trioing up this Baron. They are going to be able to finish it off before anyone gets there, but now the turn, Ish looking for an angle, Magic Lapse just burning through Densoft. Oh, but the Jinx Rocket. Now the flank for Wing, but he gets immediately cursed the Sad Mummied and taken down. Wolf picks up that kill, and as it turns out, they could not fight that one.
Yeah, I was like, maybe, but man, it just looks so impossible for Wing to do anything in these fights. And just to add the insult to injury, Flay just hits an absolutely monster ult on the Lucian there, killing him from basically half health. So good there.
That Jinx Rocket was quite a bit of damage. Not gonna lie, I don't know.
I mean, it's not surprising from the Jinx that's this strong, but...
Yeah, Toe Knuckles trying, they're holding on to at the doorsteps of their base, trying to fight their way into living through this series, but it's just not going to be there. Densoft finishes off the kill onto Scrams, and the Nexus dies. It's a 3-1 win for Classic Esports, and they'll move on to the semifinals.
Yeah, I mean, what can you say? Classic Esports just had a really, really good three drafts on blue side. Had the team fighting prowess to pull these off, and just a really great series from them all around. Blue side looks to be the strong side with the 100% win rate in this series, and yeah, I expect them to do very well in the next group of games that they've got.
Yeah, what I kind of liked from Classic was each game we kind of got to showcase a different member of the team. It was the Manacali game in game number 1, Densoft really ran it in game number 2, and then Flay with the 15 bomb in game 4. So kind of neat to see the different members all step up for Classic Esports. For RotM, that's the season. That was it. I don't know, we had some fun times. Let's think back to all the Taric Jungle games that were very fun. There was like the 12k gold comeback that was on the Metashift stream, but ultimately going to come up a little bit short this season. So headed home, off to the golf course for the off season. We'll be back next split.
Yeah, very fun. Cast with you as always, Maris, and thanks for everybody for watching.
Yeah. Thanks, Lane. Thank you, everyone, for watching. If you don't follow the stream, please hit the follow button, as it does help support us and help grow our... whatever the fuck this is. I don't even know anymore. Who are we rating? Looks like CCS is still streaming, so go watch CCS, and we'll see you next Thursday for Darkwind playoffs.
Yeah, I forgot they have the bye for this week, so...
Yep.
Check us out then.
Yeah, we'll see you next Thursday, and until then, we'll see you. Love you guys. Bye.
Bye.
We hit the raid.